during Black or holiday season.
Crazy just getting all over, like, through that and done with that. It's really fun. But, man, they're super talented.
What clothing company is it?
It's called Ascot and Hart.
What, they have like a spot and everything in Dallas, or what?
Yeah, it's over in Richardson.
Nice.
Yeah, so I guess they started an account called Target Does It Again a long time ago. That one blew up. They use it to drive traffic to their own clothing brand. And
What does Target Does It Again? Just like a meme or like
they started going into Target and finding cool stuff that they sold there, and now it's turned into a really big operation. So anybody that wants to or like has stuff in Target will advertise, use them to advertise through. And yeah, there's full.
Well, like you can get your own clothing in Target, or what? Is that what you're talking about?
Okay, so like today, like Colgate, they shot a spot for Colgate because they have some new toothpaste they're putting on the shelves.
So it's product features.
Yeah, product features that are anything sold into Target.
Okay.
Their clothing is also in Target now, but totally separate deal. It's wild. It's really fascinating.
It sounds like people that actually know how to do social media.
Yeah, dude. Did you have a degree in this or some shit?
Me?
Did you go to college?
I don't have a degree in anything.
Degree in life.
I went to Quad C for, I don't know, a year.
What is that?
The Collin County Community College.
Oh, is that where Marcus teaches?
It's Collin College now.
Yeah.
But it was great. I just found out that I wanted to get in photography and thought that school was the right way. And
yeah. What year were you thinking about getting into photography?
I got into 2009, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
So right after high school, I was working at a Subaru shop, and some crazy guy named Texas Dave Carpathian walked through the front door, and we helped him button up some Pikes Peak cars. Went up to good old Colorado Springs, and I just bought it's a Nikon D60, just a real. Nowadays, like
back in the day, everybody wanted the
D90.
D90, exactly. Yeah, that was the influencer camera of the late 2000s.
Had one of those too.
Yeah.
I got, and then dropped me off on the side of a place called Glen Cove to take some social media photos for this brand new thing called Facebook pages, and I guess it kind of worked. We got some great stuff, and then that's what started it.
That's cool. So you've been like actively shooting photography for the last 12, 13 years now, huh?
2022, yeah, about 13.
Nice, man. That's fucking cool.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I always wish I would have gotten to it earlier, but
yeah, a lot of the kids you see growing up now, like going through high school, carrying a camera, starting YouTube's like, fuck, I wish I would have picked up.
Oh, I know.
I picked up shit that I don't want to do anymore, like custom paint.
It's not like that but like that didn't really exist.
If your dream job requires sanding.
Yeah. Well, the goal was like get to a point where someone else can do that for you. But
there you go.
Yeah. Here I am. Fucking.
Well, the other problem is it's one of those things that whether you like it or not, you're good at it.
Yeah.
So people are going to expect you to do it either way.
Yeah, it's. I'm in a weird position with that because I don't plan to give it up. It's not like I'm trying to quit forever, but I want it to be the hobby that photography is to me now. Like I want to pass over to where photography, maybe not directly like getting paid for doing photography, but it really helps influence other parts of my business, whether it be the podcast or other shit. And then I can literally just do custom paint as like, fuck, I don't have anything to do this weekend. I've been wanting to paint this helmet and then go in on it just completely free of any kind of deadlines or obligations or
stuff that makes it feel like work.
Yeah. Like get to a real creative spot with it where you're doing it because you love it and you want to try something or I don't know. You know what I mean?
You just want to find joy in.
Yeah, I mean,
I know exactly what you mean.
I enjoy it. Like when I finish something that I'm like stoked about, like I enjoy that. But there's like this, it's a piece of art that you put in the community, and everybody wants it. Like, oh fuck, I want it now. Like, put me on the list. And it's like you start have to tell people no a lot. It fucks with your head a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I really can't explain how it does, but you're basically. There was a point in time when I was trying to just eat, so I would have done. I did so much crackhead shit in the paint world, like stuff that I'd laugh at now, 100%. You know, but to get my name out there, to get my skill up, I had to do the shit. You know what I mean? But now, it's like I'm pick and choose the projects I want to work on. It's a good place to be.
Right.
But what I really want to do is kind of use that to catapult into other areas of creativity
Well, I
and
feel
do
like,
that.
yeah, it's all a bell curve anyway.
Yeah.
You know, you get that low, you're learning a lot really fast, get good at it. It becomes, you know, a burden at some point, and then you can kind of, as you go on, taper off to
Yeah.
You find out where
only
you wanna be
doing,
after that.
you know, at least that's the goal, to find out where you can enjoy it again.
My friend,
We call it a Simpson curve around here. Take
There
it
you go.
easy.
my friend Jeremy at Lucky Strike Paint said this a long time ago on a podcast we did, where he said, being a custom painter or an artist in general, it's a roller coaster ride of like when the project's going out and the world loves it, you're on this high, but when the next project comes on, you're doubting yourself, you're in a slump, you're trying to fight through those creative barriers that are in the way, and so it's just like literally this after another, one after another, and it wears on you over time, man. You know, the bigger your name gets, the more steeper that climb is, and the more you feel like the world expects you to be on a certain level. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I could imagine being a recording artist of some sort. Like that's got to be the worst. Like,
especially
have one
after a
banger
hit.
album, and
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, so. And it happens too. Like I have a banger ass helmet, but the next set of circumstances of the paint job is not quite. No matter what, this color combination is pretty much never going to get us to what this last helmet was. But you got to put it out there anyway, and then you're like, man, I wonder if people think I fell off now, or why would I choose this color combination? And you know, you get in your head.
But it's all in your head, yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You always feel like you have to one up it or do better too.
well, because if you feel like you have progress in life,
Right.
it keeps you like in a good perpetual motion of forward.
Right.
You know.
But from an outsider's perspective,
Yeah.
I think it's cool, right? Just always your own worst critic.
No, I mean, there's a reason that's saying's been around forever.
Yeah, it's terrible.
But it's a good thing to be, though. I mean, what if you weren't your own? What if you just thought everything you did was badass? I mean, would you ever progress?
Those
Then
people
you're the
suck.
president.
Which one?
Any of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just I don't know, man. It's kind of a weird place. Like my brother, he read a book once because he likes to make sure I know he read
I
a
read
book.
a book like 3 times, so
Yeah.
I know.
And he was talking about like narcissism and stuff like that. And you know, obviously it's not something that people go like, yeah, that dude's got fucking some mad ass art narcissism. Like that's not something celebrated in people, but there's certain aspects of it that that people need to have to grow in certain areas, but not necessarily you have too much of it. You know, you got to have a little bit of confidence in yourself, kind of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
You know
a
where I'm
fine
going with this?
balance. It's a
business
fine
for sure, and
balance.
then personally, it ends up can be a
Yeah.
real problem.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, narcissism. That's like such a hot word. You know, I was like, wait, am I a narcissist? You go online.
It's because it almost sounds like racist.
Yeah, it does.
Well, it's also not clinically defined yet either,
No.
so people are throwing it around left and right.
It does feel like kind of like the term Nazi now. It gets thrown around real fast
Real
and loose.
quick.
Everybody's a narcissist, and
Yeah.
yeah.
It's fucking weird.
Hopefully, there's more narcissists than Nazis out there.
Do
I don't
narcissists
know.
come from Narnia? sorry. I'm gonna see myself out. I apologize.
He thought he had one. Oh man, but no. Hey, thanks for coming out, man. I do
Yeah.
appreciate it. I had such a good time watching the whole inception of the Wango Tango show. I like watching. I literally have my notes right now. What made y'all do that trip? Like I don't even remember you talking about it unless we were too drunk on the last podcast.
Well, I mean, I can sum it up. So
Spite.
Well, I think just being in the custom scene, you see, you've gone to all these shows, you see these really cool bikes, and you know there is this ego to it sometimes, right? And it's cool, it's impressive, it's great to just attend these shows, but then there's a lack of just lightheartedness too, just having fun. I mean, that's what I personally really enjoy, and so I went on the Devilstone run and with Joe, and we both rode Gold Wings. Joe bought his for $600, and I bought one for $700, and we just decided to go. And it was I don't know how many people were there, but it was mostly Harleys. But the Gold Wings were kind of like the center of attention the entire time because Joe had his eight-track player on the bike. He's just blasting music the whole time, and yeah, when everyone found out it was super cheap and we could just pull out cases of beer from the hard cases and everything, and it just got a lot of attention. And we just figured, well, this is really fun. So should we try to do a custom motorcycle show? Joe was already already knows people at Buffalo Chips, so it'd be an easy thing to try out. And at Sturgis, like, what better place to do it than at Sturgis, right?
Yeah.
So one thing happened, and then I think Josh talked about Wango Tango. Then we were here after the Hand Built show, and we wanted to find a way to promote it and have an excuse to keep riding. So
that was a perfect one.
Yeah, and I've been shooting and working with Brandon for a while now, right?
A while. I don't know, what was our first, like, real trip?
Our first real trip, we rode Husqvarna's up the one and just shot content the entire way up. And it was a fun time, but since then we've just been doing trips and projects and stuff together.
Yeah,
so
we did the first Waves for Water
Yep.
Harley trip, or Harley, project?
King Ranch tour.
King Ranch tour.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ford.
Yeah. Thanks, Ford.
Oh, you are big time, huh?
No, we're just lucky. We're just lucky. No, they did give us a press vehicle.
Oh.
And so we were trying to, we had to pick up the bike, and then we went through the Salt Flats, and it was just a small road trip that we shot content with. But it was a King Ranch. It's the nicest truck I've ever, this is not sponsored, but it was the nicest truck. Like, I've never driven a King Ranch before, or even been in one prior to that. And so it was 4 of us dudes, just super comfy, and it was
spilling milkshakes in there and shit like that.
Yeah, actually, I mean, just snacks everywhere. And
well, when you decided to do the to just take it and do the tour situation, like, I just found it so right. Like, I love travel more than anything, especially on a motorcycle. But I love road trips. I love everything except for, I don't dislike flying. I know that flying has a purpose, like if you need to get somewhere quick. But man, there's nothing like planning a road trip and then just the whole journey is the experience, right? And at first I was like, man, I want to do it on the coolest bike possible, right? Like how you're saying, like, it's got to be a sick ass bike. But I'm getting to a point where it's like I want to do it on all kinds of different things.
Right.
My buddy was on here a couple weeks ago, Mason. Him and his buddy flew to Seattle, bought an old E-something Mercedes, and then road tripped it back, and they did the coast. They're all photographers, and I'm like, that's fucking fun. I want to do that. That looks so fucking fun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then, of course, I think that y'all's trip put that in my head, and then watching other photographer videos, like YouTube videos and shit, people do that shit all the time. So I was like, man, like, I want to travel some different ways now. You know, maybe it's the bike thing, or maybe it's an old car or some shit like that. You know what I mean? But I think for sure his photography, just capturing it all in the way that it was a very consistent capture, as far as like almost like the way you edited everything during that trip. So you saw it in your feed and you already knew what the page was without seeing the page. Like, there was a consistency.
Yeah, you saw the picture and you knew this is Wango Tango photo. Yeah.
And man, I don't know. I really enjoyed that whole time. And that was what, June, July?
The whole month of June.
Yeah, because we were on a month-long trip as well. We went up to Washington. And we did California, Born Free, all that shit. Yeah. So we were on a trip as well. But same. I'm like on a trip too. I'm like, dude, I'm not getting any of this kind of content y'all are getting. I guess you're used to it. You've been doing it for a while. So you know what to shoot, how to get it, and what they want to see. So
yeah. I mean, Brandon does do a really good job, though, of just capturing it and kind of just being behind the scenes. So just catching actual moments versus posed moments, too, you know?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. A lot of it looked like a natural situation, as opposed to when I was on my trip, like, we're going to the Golden Gate. All right, who wants their picture taken? Like, right here's the spot. This is the shot. This is the angle.
Right.
And so I do enjoy those photos, and I'm proud to have them. But yeah, seeing those things or those kind of photos, and then other photographers that I see capture it that way, I'm like, man, like, there was a point in Mammoth where this dude was butt naked running around, and I didn't have a camera. I wasn't even there. I was like editing photos from earlier that day instead of going out and partying with them and capturing that moment, if you will, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm jealous.
David does that all the time. He doesn't let me take pictures, though.
What?
Run around naked.
So you had the Gold Wings with trailers
and
the bicycles.
yeah.
And the bicycle thing, you had it here too. There's a guy here in Dallas or something like that.
Yeah, so Chris, he's in Fort Worth, and he started Zeus bikes. So they're just really cool BMX bikes. And so for him, he's always trying to get his bikes out there, right? And so we figured, well, let's create a Goldwing setup that will get people looking. And yeah, so Joe had a trailer that he got for $300. His entire setup is less than $1,000, which is pretty crazy. And then I actually had torn my Goldwing apart, so I picked up a Goldwing on Marketplace just right before.
Just another one, just fuck it.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. And then I had a bike rack though, and then so that bike just sat on the back, and I don't know. It was pretty fun to just see everyone's reactions as we were rolling through together.
Yeah,
It was great. You should invite him to the Wango Tango shared folder.
Yeah.
Is you naked everywhere?
If that's the case, invite me too.
Sorry.
Maybe.
Yeah. No, the concept. So, like I said, you said the purpose of that whole deal was just to kind of promote the show and do it in a different way.
Yeah, and just promote just having fun on motorcycles again.
Yeah,
because I feel like you said, you feel like you have to have the coolest bike and the coolest setup and everything. And that is really fun.
Yeah, it helps.
I've done that, and I love that. But there's also something nice about just riding a bike that costs you under $1,000, and it's a couch, and it's comfortable, and the radio works, and it's got digital display and everything. It just feels really
It's like
cool.
the Knight Rider of the motorcycle.
Oh, it totally is.
We had a little taste of that in Lake George.
Yeah.
So what was it? Where was the plan? Like, what was the route that you guys were planning on taking on this whole
We went.
fiasco?
Joe met me in Minneapolis, where I live, and then we just went all the way east to, I guess, upstate New York, Lake George. We attended a Americade, and then we went all the way down to Miami.
Damn.
Sweat our asses off.
In fucking June.
Oh,
Yeah, it was awful. He'll tell you the rest of that in a second.
yeah. It was terrible for him because
Your phone's going off, David. Come on.
My fault.
yeah. So then back up the shaft and over.
The shaft.
Back up to Shreveport because
Shreveport,
someone had to get an infection in their eye.
Oh yeah, I lost my vision in my right eye
It was sketchy.
during that trip too. It was pretty crazy.
Shreveport will do that to you.
I guess so.
Dude, you can't be that close whenever they're doing the dance, dude.
Yeah,
Never know
Brandon, you're
what's
not supposed to be
coming
that close, Brandon.
We got some photos of David. Who was the drag star that? It was Selena, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
I got pulled into a TV show.
Yeah, they were filming like
Was it?
hip hop something Miami TV show, and some performer came up and made David dance with them.
Did a little salsa. It was terrible.
I don't know. You were smiling in that photo. I'm pretty
I
sure.
mean,
we
what
can
else
pull
am I
it up.
supposed to do? I mean,
Yeah.
to hide my terror.
Yeah, Lodge. Well, that's cool, man. No, that whole deal seemed so fun.
It was a blast.
And y'all just did the whole loop, and then where'd y'all end it at?
Back up in Minnesota.
Minnesota? Nice.
Stayed a few extra days. Did a little 4th of July.
Yeah. So yeah, all in all, it was 6,000 miles, 4 weeks, and it was really ambitious. We
Well, I
covered a
felt-
lot of ground.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. It didn't seem, but yeah, the Miami thing is probably the most out of the way situation.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of like unique places you guys were visiting, like different other shops and like museums or something like that as well.
Yep.
If I remember correctly. And then a lot of like just kind of like off the grid looking kind of spots, like in the woods and stuff. That I feel like you guys found a good way to kind of balance it out between visiting people and also doing your own thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it was between Joe and I, like our contacts, our friends,
Yeah.
people reaching out. And so we had a direction, but we also left things open to change. And so it was also cool because we partnered up with Hip Camp, which is basically like an Airbnb for people with land. So you can let people camp out, or they have trailers, or
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of got on that late, so we got more trailers and glamping cabins and stuff like that. But it was fun. So that's where you saw maybe like some things that just looked really
It was
random.
unique, yeah.
Yeah, it was unique. And so it was a cool way to see the country rather than just staying at hotels at every stop or whatnot. And then, yeah, again, it was just people reaching out and just like, hey, come crash, come hang out. And I think that's what
It's
makes
probably
the
the best
trip so
part.
exciting. Yeah,
Just seeing all of our friends that we hadn't seen in,
especially
since
after all the
2020.
time. Yeah,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the whole New York area, like up there in upstate New York, like
Oh my god.
we've only done some of it. Like we did a trip, 2 years ago, 2021?
Yeah.
A year ago now, where we just beelined it from basically Maine straight across to get to Buffalo, New York, or
Okay.
at Niagara or whatever.
Yep.
But yeah, we never really got to ride any of the actual New York that has like riding, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. We just was on the turnpike and it was horrible.
Yeah, Lake George, anything in the Catskills, it's
Yeah, I want to check all that out.
insane.
Yeah.
I would definitely recommend checking it out. And then, there's American, and then was it Laconia?
Yeah. We rode through there on our trip, yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all went and checked all that out too?
Yeah.
Did y'all go to the
Or
event?
no, we
'Cause-
didn't go to Laconia. We just went to American, and we went through New York City, which we try to get through that as fast as possible.
Yeah. I got to ride New York City during COVID, like in 2020.
Oh, empty.
Empty.
Oh
Dude,
man,
we were
I'm so
smashed.
jealous.
It was
Cool.
it was amazing.
Yeah.
And it was my first time ever going, so it was a very false representation of what it was.
Yeah.
And then last year when we went on that trip, I'm like, yeah, dude, let's just go right through Manhattan. Fucking
No.
mistake. I mean, it was still cool, but we're talking like we're on the east side of the island, and we're pretty much like Hell's Kitchen area, and we got to go across the Queensbridge to Freeport or Queens right there, and it's like 1.4 miles, and it's like 45 minutes. It was the craziest shit in the world.
Eight bikes, just cutting through traffic. A lot of horns, a lot of go fuck yourselves, but we made it work. It was fun.
And some of us were on baggers, so we don't really fit between these cars that are parked. And
Yeah.
it was scary, but it was fun.
And the roads suck.
Oh yeah, they're horrible. They're
terrible.
made for carts, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I was happy to be out of New York City.
I love it there though.
It's cool to visit, just not riding gold wings with bikes strapped to the back and trying to trailers and sketchy. Some of those bridges too,
It was wild.
because it was raining too.
Oh shit, yeah.
So slippery.
We stayed in a wild part of New York too.
Where'd
that
y'all
night. Rockaway Beach.
Rockaway Beach
That sounds like something in a rap video.
Rockaway Beach.
in like a tiny
Wouldn't
camper.
be surprised.
I mean, it was interesting.
It was cool. It was weird. You're going
So
over.
when you said you partnered with it, so did you work out something to use that to also kind of exploit through the trip?
Yeah. I mean, for them, they encourage camping, camper vans, RVs, and then they have also like lodging. So someone that has like a tiny home or something, you can stay there.
well, and the experiences too that they
For sure.
offer.
And
So what is it, like a website you join, kind of
it's
like
just like
Airbnb?
it's just like an Airbnb, but it's
Okay.
for camping. And so I first learned about it years ago and just really loved the whole experience. And you get to meet the host too. Like we camped out at a horse ranch one night. We've camped out by this river in an old sketchy
You're forgetting
trailer.
the first night though.
What was the first night?
Chicago.
that might be a good
Chicago
thing
was
to
awesome.
use on our trips, man. If we were going to try to camp again.
Yeah, but you're singing its praises. You got to have one like what the fuck story. Like
Oh yeah, we stayed in
One.
a shipping
I,
container.
I do want to hear one that went sideways. Where
Oh yeah,
They all went-
they're all different. They're not all
Yeah.
Yeah.
amazing. Or they're cool in its own right. Like it's a memory, right?
Yeah.
It's so
Even the ones that probably were sketchiest stick out the most because of the
yeah. But we stayed in
man.
an urban farm in Chicago, which is incredible. That was our
Yeah,
first
right outside
one.
of downtown Chicago, and
I feel like you're baiting me into a race joke here. I'm just gonna leave that one alone.
No, like we were literally
it was
right
sick.
in the hood, and it was just this farm, and this lady was like making her own maple syrup from the maple trees in the neighborhood too, and like everyone knew her. She bought the property for nothing too. What,
She
20
brought
years ago or something
one
like that?
house in like '88 for
That's the only way you can get Aunt Jemima now.
$9,200,
Yeah,
and then bought the rest of the lots for I don't know, like 10 grand a couple years later. So she's got like a whole block.
Oh shit, yeah.
Tore down all the fences, so there's one giant backyard. I don't know. She was so cool, Nikki.
super cool, Nikki.
And also ended up having gold wings.
What?
We helped her change her battery. She had gold wings. She had a 04, right?
Yeah.
Silver 04.
Yep.
Goldwing, Royal Enfield.
No,
bunch of
actually, I
old
think it was a
Suzukis.
94.
I didn't know
Oh,
they
well.
still made them.
Whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah, the new ones are
I had those new fancy taillight.
the new ones are really cool.
That new one's gnarly. We rode that in Lake George.
The DCT transmission or the automatic whatnot.
Yeah.
Thing is smooth.
So what kind of features do they have on them? Heated seats,
Butt massager.
recliners,
I mean,
self-riding.
We were giving it for 2 hours, and our photo spot was like
and we should
35 minutes away, so we didn't really toggle through anything except for
Yeah, I want to spend more
control.
time on it, but it was fast. It's at what 1800, and it just shifts so smooth. I was a little skeptical about the DCT, but it was so smooth.
For real?
I mean, I had what am I trying to say? Our videographer sat on the back and shot some stuff with Joe too on the way back, and he was just so comfortable on that thing.
I don't know how with Joe's horrible driving, but
No,
love you,
we were
Joe,
shooting
but-
him, so
Yeah.
no, but it was good.
That's cool that you get to. So how did you like set up all these different things for this trip, like these different partnerships and?
Yeah, I
and
mean that's kind of where
That's-
I kind of
that's your
shine,
forte.
and I've done that for. This isn't like my first cross country road trip where you bring in different brands and sponsors and people that just want to be a part of something that's fun.
Yeah.
Like my first trip after I started Cafe Racer of Instagram, around like 100,000 followers. We just put out a feeler. Had a buddy that broke up with his girlfriend, and he was just gonna go to Texas and just ride around on his CB 550. And I had one at the time, and I just figured, well, I have the social media page. Let's reach out to some brands and see if they'll give us some parts and let us get the bikes ready. We did it November, and so if anything, people were just laughing or just tuning in, similar to Wango Tango. But here are two guys, haven't been on a cross country trip, overpacked on these vintage bikes, and it's November. It's freezing, even in the South. Like there were times we were freezing our asses.
Where'd
off.
y'all leave from Minneapolis?
Yeah, we bought a $300 Craigslist van and just drove straight down to Austin, and then sold the van for scrap metal, and then just took off from there. And we got picked up in Denver after 4 weeks. So, but because of that, we've done so many trips just cross country.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so
I've always felt like the trips really helped my brand out 100%. Like, I wish I could find ways to capture more content, but also make it more natural content instead of forced, like, all right, dude, stand on that bridge and pose, you know what I mean? But
Right.
it's like when people see that, man, it really does. It's just like y'all's trip. I saw it, and I was like, fuck, I want to do that while I'm on one.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it still influences me to see that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And I, like, we're always talking about, me and my friends group, we're always talking about how do we show the world how fucking fun this is? You know what I mean? And without being fake about it. Like, just legitimately, like, dude, this is like the best time ever. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But we also can't do it so much that our old ladies think that we like it more than them. That's the hard part. That's the balance.
Too late.
No, it's always a pain in the butt with that part. But no, it's awesome, man. Finding ways to work with brands. Have you found that is it still easy to do that as far as get brands on board, or is you find like people want you to dance when you do that shit now, or how's that working?
I think it's gotten easier just because
Easier?
we've done it for a while now. So we're not also just saying yes to everything and anything too. And so we get to choose what we want to do, right? So, yeah, I think it's been getting better. I'm actually going to Colombia next month. My roommate, motorcyclist, Colombian, he wants to start like a little motorcycle tour with his family who's still all down there. So I just figured, all right, well, let's
Yeah,
go
fuck
capture it. I don't know what to expect, but I have the best tour guide. So me and a crew of 8 dudes are going to go down there and just kind of explore and see what happens.
So when you say like capture it, like, so you have a whole group of guys that come in with like photography, videography.
Not necessarily.
Or-
it's just even cell phone stuff works well these days. It's what sucks about social media is when you almost go too high production, the engagement just drops off. Right? And so, but then like a silly cell phone reel. I went to Mama Tried, Flat Out Friday, caught this video of this dude riding a jet ski motorcycle.
Yeah, we were
right?
there for that one. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's like the biggest hit I've ever gotten. I think it was like 1.2 million impressions or something like that, and it was just on my cell phone. But then I get people to come to a trip, they shoot all these nice things, and then you try to make a reel, and no one sees it.
Yeah, I've done that thing too, where I would like take one clip, just throw a song on it, 15 seconds, bam, it goes, and then I'd have one where I cut up a couple shots, go in timeline with the fucking beats of the thing, and then that one barely gets 10,000.
Yeah.
Views or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Other one hits 80,000 like it ain't nothing. It's like,
Right.
I don't understand. Like, you can't figure it out. You don't know where to land on it. But the other thing is, like, when it comes to the reels thing, like our buddy Sit Down Steve, a stunt rider, he started making reels like, what was it, 2021 January-ish or
2020 Daytona.
No, I think it was 21.
All right,
yeah.
21.
21 Daytona, he goes down there, he makes his reel, and they're all stunt riders, and they're fucking wild. So, I mean, he's getting bar fights, like just the craziest shit, wheelies, running from the cops, like all kinds of wildness. But it was this pieced together video with the perfect song, and it just fucking like
Blew up.
yeah. Well, I don't even know how well it went. It just, I enjoyed it. It was almost like the concept behind short form content or short form videos. It's like he captured it that way. I was like, I get that. Like I can get behind that, because now you have a 30-second window. You have to try to like cram an experience in there for somebody to kind of get it. But it turned into like people figured out the algorithm. They figured out how it works. It's like, let me make some stupid thing that loops and you don't even realize it looped. That way you get a couple more views on it. And they actually stopped it now where like it only loop one time and say, do you like this? Do you want to keep watching?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
those
it was
damn
looping
cooking
that much.
videos.
And
Yeah, the cooking videos.
I know
Yeah,
they
it's
get
like-
you too.
so they stopped that, right? Because people, especially with Instagram offering, what do they call it?
The real play or whatever. Where,
Yeah, like the bonus play where
yeah,
you
the
can
bonus
get
play,
paid
yep.
to do it. People just made shit regardless of the kind of content it was, but they found a way to loop it to where you didn't know when it stopped and ended, and you would watch it 5 or 10 times before you realized that you even
Taking notes.
yeah.
Of course, they come out with that after I posted that
Exactly.
jet ski video too. It's
Yeah.
like, oh man, I could have actually made some money from
What
this.
I've noticed about like the most viral shit is the things that either it's perfectly in everybody's feels, it's just like the perfect vibe, like homeboy drinking, what is it, dog face or whatever, doing the ocean spray stuff, or it's like something where people hate it and love it, and you got the haters talking shit on there and the lovers talking shit on there, and it's just like this polarizing thing that grabs people's
The Howard Stern effect.
yeah.
The
Yeah.
people that love it are going to watch it. The people that hate it are going to watch it even more
Just
because they hate it.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of feel like that's what the whole Wango Tango Goldwing thing is. It's like, look at these dudes. These idiots are ripping across country with these bikes, but at the same time, I want to do that.
Yeah, I think what people don't, I think what a lot of people haven't come to realize yet is that what they want about motorcycles isn't so much the motorcycle. I think that's the materialism thing that might be the shining diamond on top of the
Right.
pedestal or whatever you want to be. But once they have that, or maybe like the achieving and finally have, it still doesn't fulfill the same way as in going and doing things on motorcycles. And, I don't know, man. Like I'm trying to find a way to articulate that very well.
No,
but
you're absolutely right.
That makes
like
sense.
whenever it's time for Mama Tried, I don't say, "Oh, I can't wait to go to Mama Tried and see the new, beautiful, perfect Walt Siegel motorcycle."
Yeah.
I'm like, can't wait to see David and Andy and Keith and
Right.
Cowrie, and it's a lot more about the people and the stuff you do with them.
yeah, and that's I mean, we've definitely
Like
said
hands down.
Yeah, absolutely.
that Black Beauty right there. I don't know what it is. When it gets cold outside, I want the stick shit.
It's cold outside.
Not right now, but
The fog is crazy right now. I
Dude, I
couldn't
wanna go
see
shoot some of that
anywhere.
It looked real gnarly out there.
Yeah, kind of look like
Take
Blade
all your
Runner
pro
type
mist and
vibes.
glimmer glass off because
yeah.
you don't need it.
Yeah, that's one of the things. I mean, we were actually just having a conversation about this right before y'all pulled up. It's like the one thing that I really feel like people, what they may not have realized they want, but we have the medicine they want. They want to ride bikes and they want to have friends. And they want to have experiences, and they just want to have like a break away from reality. And motorcycles can definitely give you that. You know what I'm saying? But it's easier to buy shit. It's so much easier to buy shit if you have money.
Yeah.
Or even if you don't. It's like most people don't have the time to take off 4 weeks to go on a trip. So fuck it, I'll just buy another part for my bike. Offer code Fast Life at Arlen S. Get your Thundermax. Get, you know, trying to help with people's materialism real quick, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, that is really interesting. People just dump a lot of money in their bikes and they hardly get to ride it.
Well, because if a lot of people can't, that's the easy thing to do.
Right.
You know, I mean, if you work a lot and you make good money, the easiest thing is to buy your family shit instead of spend time with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
it's an interesting trade-off too. Just like choosing things that you enjoy and then having a lot of money, right? Just working, hustling your ass off. Then you got a ton of money to buy shit, but then you can't really do anything with it.
Yeah, I mean the perfect scenario is that you build something that allows you to have the time off. And I think that's what a lot of culture has been leaning towards lately, especially I guess our generation, you know, your millennials, if you will. Like a lot of us are trying to make enough money, just enough money to not overkill ourselves and enjoy life. And, you know,
I toe that line real good.
Yeah. It's, I mean, I know I can stay at the shop all year and make a ton more money just painting bikes. But man, like I enjoy traveling, man. I enjoy it. I love seeing the homie again, you know, and what are we doing tonight? You know what I mean? Like, what's this night going to look like? Or, you know, and obviously doing a podcast, meeting people all the time. It's like, I want to go fuck with you in goddamn Minnesota,
Not right
Minneapolis.
Now,
Not right now.
Don't do it right now. But yes, Minnesota's beautiful though.
Kind of like taking a month off to go ride motorcycles around with one of your best friends.
Yeah, it's the best.
It was great.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Wango Tango trip was really cool because it did encourage a lot of people to at least maybe plan a trip is the hope, right? And again, have fun. Don't think too much about being badass and cool, whatever. Just have fun. And again, motorcycles is just a transportation. It doesn't need to be the best bike. And that was kind of the point of that too. Just have fun. Honestly, I think old Gold Wings, if you've ridden motorcycles for a long time, it's kind of like a low-key flex. Like, you see a young dude pull up on a Gold Wing, you know that he knows what's up.
Yeah.
Like, he's ridden motorcycles. It's not his first bike. That's not a first bike. You drop that thing, you're gonna break something. It's a big-ass bike.
I love that thing.
Yeah, I wonder what that is a flex in a sense. I remember one of the homies came to Giddy Up one year on a stripped down Gold Wing that he made it look like a Dyna.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And we all stared it down because we were trying to figure out how he customized it. He had T-bars on it and everything. What was his name? Evan, I think, did it. The Pterodactyl boys down there in Houston.
Oh yeah, one of the dudes. I don't know if it was Evan or not, but probably if you say it was Evan, your memory's better than mine. Probably was.
Thanks, bud. But no, like I remember that happened. Then I remember when Josh and FXR Mike and those guys jumped on Gold Wings, and FXR Mike was he's been this famous FXR guy for years, and then he like on the same thing that what you're talking about, just people taking things so seriously. He changed his name to Goldwing Mike, and you would thought that everybody just lost their shit. You know what I mean? It's almost like him changing his name fucked with everybody else's identity.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So why am I following this guy now?
He thought he was on our team.
He's on our side.
Well, motorcycles is the side. Like,
Yeah. At the end of the day, motorcycle's a motorcycle.
Well, there's a tribalism that comes with like the brand, you know, Harley.
Yep.
You know, like you get, and I'm sucked in. I got a fucking tattooed on my neck. Drunkenly in this podcast one day. I did
On this podcast?
On this podcast.
Whiskey's full.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, fuck it, dude. You got your tattoo. Blast it on. And then we went to like Waffle House after that. I was like, dude, I get a tattoo on my neck. I can't fucking believe that. But no, I think that when you get into Harley, you kind of get wrapped up into the brand of it, the tribalism of that community of Harley riders, and then you find the little communities within it, the FXR, the Dyna guys, and all stunt riders, all the different things, right? And I feel like it's harder for a Harley guy to go enjoy other bikes than it is for like someone that's been in the cafe racers or sport bikes for them to go into something else. You know what I'm saying?
that's fair.
It's always been that way. I mean, I started off on sport bikes, and I ended up evolving into Harleys just because that's where the money was for what I did for a living. But I fell in love with Harleys, rightfully so.
But I mean, custom, you hear that, like,
Yeah.
people spend money on Harleys, so
Yeah.
it makes sense that you shifted that direction. versus custom bikes. Like people are always just trying to break even. It seems like.
Well, yeah, there is that.
if that, you know, it's tough.
What's the cafe thing? It's like, I guess it started to kind of get like a, I don't know what the word is, but it became like the gentleman's bike almost.
Yeah, it's just classy and kind of, classic vintage look. And then the gentleman's ride picked up, and that became a huge thing. And then people's backs started hurting, so then they were looking for gold wings. I don't know. That's
How
me.
many have you seen kind of come from the world of the cafe racers into the? Is it? I mean, there's got to be some tribalism in the cafe racer world. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, there definitely is. But
I was going to say they either go to Harleys or they go to GSs, almost exclusively.
Yeah.
Like there's one of the two.
Yeah.
Those are the two popular, die-hard.
Well, BMW's got the Harley thing too. I mean, it's smaller,
it's rad,
but it's like that's a thick fucking world of people that are into that.
A
You know?
1.8 liter little Fury machine. That thing's awesome.
If I
Could be
could
a
just
little
touch
more
the ground on
comfortable,
there.
but I love that bike.
My last Road Glide, not my current one, but I was literally at the IMS show, like debating on, do I want a Harley or I want a GS? Because I wanted the GS 1200 with all the with the big tank and all that shit. Like I'm doing anything but highway riding on it. You know?
Right.
And good luck with that.
So I got a hot take on cafe racers and their scene. I think a lot of those dudes are guys that want pussy from a motorcycle. Guys that want to, they're like, oh yeah, dude, like something's missing in my life. It's a motorcycle, but I'm not even like they're not even thinking about the illusion of getting in a club. They don't want to fuck with all that. Maybe they don't, whatever the fuck it is. They don't see themselves as Harley guys, but they still want a bike. They want pussy, and I don't think they're necessarily like really obsessed with riding with other dudes or maybe getting friendship. It's I don't know. That was my take on it. When I first got in, when I first got into riding, I met a bunch of cafe racer dudes, and it just seemed like they were a lot more solo, but not in like lone wolf status. More like,
Does that make the Sportster a cafe racer?
yeah. I was a bolt guy, so
Oh, you're a bolt guy, huh?
that was my take on it. You know, I was like, these guys are just about themselves and doing their thing, but there wasn't any sort of like.
I can definitely see that. Like they're trying to get that image, like just be like a
Yeah, and I'm not trying to
Mr. GQ on
They
a
want to
cafe
look
racer
like
type
David
deal.
Beckham.
And I'm not
on
even being super negative about it like that. But almost like they're not disillusioned with, I'm trying to rewrite my life. I want to do something on Saturday, get the fuck out of the house, maybe Sundays, but that's it. I'm not trying to pretend like I'm somebody else on the weekends. I'm not trying to do the whole wild hog shit. I just want to get out, ride my bike, and
Cop run cafes.
be into myself a little bit, and nothing's wrong with that. But that's my take on it.
Yeah, Kyle was saying that he had a Ducati Monster, right?
Yeah.
And he was before he got into the Dynas and eventually found his way here.
Yeah. Went to a Dallas bike night, and it was all cafe racers and stuff like that. So it was a cool little group. They just got to meet around on, and I think it was like Wednesdays in Dallas.
Yeah, it's ran by Grant Wood.
Okay,
Really,
yeah,
really
so
good
I
GS guy.
figured you know the guys, because
Yeah.
they do the mods versus rockers every year too, and all that stuff. And I went on one of those rides. It was fun. It was really cool. I saw some sick ass gold wings that were actually cafe'd out that were sick as
there's
fuck.
some really cool cafe gold wings for sure.
Yeah,
It's fun to see what people do with gold wings.
right.
Yeah.
Especially when you strip all that body work down. It's not a bad.
Yeah, you still have a frame and
Yeah.
you know the basic guts of a motorcycle.
Right.
Well, I think the Goldwing thing's fun because you can get them cheap, and for most people, that's probably not going to be like a make or break whether or not where
I
you
almost
take it.
bought one on the trip.
Where were you riding on that trip?
Tell him, David.
So he was in my Sprinter van, and so
yeah.
him and Freddie, who was a videographer, they followed along with that, and so that's how we were able to capture some of those really cool shots.
Yeah. We could find. I don't know where you guys hang out at. Like, there's a certain bar in Dallas where content creators hang out.
It's either Jettison
It's like an actual spot.
or I don't know. It's probably the best one.
Yeah, I don't even know how to go about finding. I guess you got to have a relationship. Otherwise, you're going to get charged out the ass for like, hey, dude, come follow us on a bike trip for 2 weeks and, spend every moment.
It's hard to find someone like Brandon who actually enjoy shooting and riding motorcycles because it's either one or the other, right?
I mean, I don't know. I think there's a lot of people that shoot and like to ride motorcycles, but maybe not want to work also. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great folks out there.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. A lot of nice people.
A lot of really dumb ones too. God, I hate dumb people.
Yeah, they're fun too.
They're fun.
But yeah, I don't know. It's been one of those deals where like trying to find someone to work with.
Well, so what are you looking for?
I want to find someone that, you know, like, because we want to start doing more YouTube stuff, like actual videos, things like that, even if it's just around town before we try to go far. And I just need someone to shoot, like, hold the camera. I just need a cameraman more than anything. I mean, yeah, an editor would be dope, but I can do all that stuff myself, and I have a complete setup at home to edit with another. So I have the studio here for all this stuff, and then I got a MacBook Pro, a new one, at the house where I'm able to, you know, if I need to go home and take all this footage and put it in and start fucking with it over the next week, like I'm fine with that. Plus, I'm pretty anal when it comes to how things look, and you know what I mean, and I can be very controlling in that world of just owning the narrative of how we're going to be perceived, you know. So it's like if it's shot this way, and you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, it sounds like you're getting straight into if you want something done right, like
do it yourself,
or you know, take or just you won't be as happy with it.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess it's also one of those deals where if I know the person that's shooting for me and I am a fan of their work, then I'm probably more reluctant to be like, hey man, just do what you do. But you know, when you're trying to create like some kind of video or some
you
kind
have
of
a brand too that you need to, you know, visually adhere to also. So it makes sense. Yeah,
so it's like you want to kind of like when it comes to videos, it's like you want it to be a natural, like, hey, this is the day in the life at the Fast Life Garage, but you still got to have a plan. You can't just like fucking start recording all day long. I mean, that footage would be massive. You'd never be able to, like, today we're going to do this, and this, and then what happens in between this, and this is the video, right?
Yeah.
Not like, hey, dude, just video me walking around all day and I'm just like kicking shit and pissed. Cut that.
How many terabytes did Freddie go through on the tour?
He shot a lot. We've only used just a fraction of what he shot. But he was also new into motorcycles. He actually learned how to ride on the trip.
It was great.
And now he's got his license and he's looking for his first
license,
bike.
a helmet.
Yeah.
Just needs to get the bike.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was cool because he was excited, though, to be a part of this. And then the more and more he saw all the different places that we went to, all the people we met, the more and more excited he got about just like, what is this? You know, like the motorcycle community is awesome. And
he's lucky. He came in not knowing anything and left like a industry veteran.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, those trips when you start to meet all those people and, you know, those are years of hard work of putting in relationships that you and Joe, and I assume you as well, have put into. And yeah, someone walks in and like, man, how are you cool with all these people? How do you get the pass? The door's just open for you, if you will. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I mean, talking about that first trip on those CB550s, I was working, or I went on that trip because I left this ad agency. I started the page up just to try to get into advertising, and then I used that as like my portfolio, and then did it and just realized that it sucked more than my normal 9-to-5 job. Just because like agency life, they work you to the ground. So when they let me go, I hit the road, and I came back and just, again, like the engagement, the people that were wanting to do what we were doing, and just hearing that from people. Like we went to the one show and we had a couple of young dudes come up like, I quit my job and just rode for 2 months because of just what you guys posted. That was enough for me to just
feel like you're doing some good work.
Go find another employer, and I haven't really worked since. Well, you know, for anyone. So
he works for me.
Yeah, I work for him. He's my boss.
Well, it's a weird thing because I think a lot of people look at it as like it's not work, right?
Ooh.
But it is.
It's a lot.
The Wingo Tango trip was not just relaxing. It was more stressful than anything, I would think.
We had our first fight.
Did we?
No.
I was like, really? I don't remember that.
No, I just got
because you were drunk.
I just got real pissed at him because he gave us a van with no AC.
Oh yeah, the van didn't have air conditioning.
Yeah.
But I bought the van in Chicago and didn't test it
in
out.
the winter, didn't test it out. We made him fix it by the time we got to Miami.
Yeah,
Out of the
they
goodness
couldn't
of his
deal with
heart.
it anymore.
No, you rode in
They
it one
shit out
night
on
and you
me.
were like, damn, it's hot in here.
It's really hot,
These
yeah.
boys are cooking. And then Fred's laptop kept on going.
Yeah, even the
Like
laptop
cutting
show
out when we
over
were
here.
editing in the middle of the day.
I mean, they toughed it out. They roughed it out.
Man, we've got to like write Wango Tango stuff down before we forget it all. I mean, there was
Sayings.
everything.
It was
The
a very
people,
memorable trip.
the people.
How do you feel about like doing anything like more written, photo book type stuff of like this journey?
We have
Talked about it.
quite a bit and just are looking for. We need to make time to write it down to make time for it.
It'd be nice to do a little zine. Honestly, with just the
Yeah.
photos that Brandon shot from that trip, it would be really, really cool.
We've
that
been
would be
culling those down because there's what are there like 1,300 like final images from that trip.
That's 1,300. That's it. I
Yeah.
mean, like
Like edited,
oh,
polished,
like good
photos.
good
Yeah.
shots.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like you only shot 1,300
Oh,
total.
no,
I'm like,
no.
that's it.
No, I think.
edited.
But I did
Are you
try
that
to,
good?
I did try to keep it down. I think there were 8,000
Okay,
for the month.
He was shooting nonstop.
dude, I'll ride on the back of a bike just to get a couple rollers of homies, and I'll have 2,000 shots in 2 miles.
Yeah, well, that's also because I
You know what you're
kind of
doing?
lowered. I kind of didn't bring too much gear.
Yeah.
And did a real dumb thing and shot the whole thing on medium format because I'm a dickhead, which is a lot slower. But I was like, let's do it.
Yeah, but with that medium
Whatever.
format stuff, you can do a lot more with those images than you can with just a normal,
Yeah, it was fun, but man, I shoot most of my works with a D850. I love it, and those files are still out of control. Yeah, I don't need anything else, but I like buying the gear and stuff too. So I was like, we're only going to shoot this whole trip on a.
What I was talking about, like the motorcycle, like buying the shit up there. It's the same thing that happens in the camera world.
Oh,
it
yeah,
happens in
bet.
golf.
I believe it. Yeah.
Anything that
Cars.
any industry where there's things to buy that will make you feel like you're better at what you're doing, you get sucked up in it.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Peak Designs just came out with another bag.
I need it.
Peak Designs just has a new phone mount. I got to get it. It's the best phone mount I've ever had in my life, by the way.
Oh yeah, David, I need a new case of phone mount too.
So,
Do you? Okay. Oh.
but I've been because I did that whole trip to the Pacific Northwest and I ran their phone mount. I was like, I've
solid.
had. It's 100% the best one, and the footprint it leaves behind is clean.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want to work with them because I've already bought everything they sell, and I'm like, I want to work with them in some kind of way, but I'm not good at pitching shit because I say things like, yo, I love your fucking products, man. Like let's do some shit together. Like I speak.
Dude, be the one to make them make their first like hard bag case.
Yeah.
They're in Austin.
Are they?
They're in San Francisco, based out of San
They're
Francisco.
based in San Francisco.
They're doing a lot of.
But they're doing a
Stuff
lot
in
in
Austin.
Austin. I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, you got to get to San Francisco. They probably couldn't go to work for a while.
I think that I don't know. I mean, I'm always wrong, so
Yeah.
definitely be
It's a
wrong.
good thing to
but
be.
Yeah, we met some folks from corporate that moved to Austin to
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
to go there too.
Well, no, they make great products, and I've told a lot of homies about them. A lot of the guys in our group, they run their compression bags for like traveling, for the clothing. I've been trying to tell people about these phone mounts
They're so
for
good.
the longest.
Actually, I
yeah.
haven't seen one on a phone. Let me see that sucker.
Really?
You heard it first here, Peak Designs. We can make you or we can destroy you.
Yeah.
Get on board. Fast Side Podcast.
Fuck with your boy.
I like
love
that. Yeah, I'll need that. I'll need that in the wallet.
So it's actually cool because like this little setup, and I mean, I got the car thing and everything, and it's just so clean and easy and simple.
Yeah.
And,
Dude,
and
all their products.
Everything.
Yeah, I got their Kickstarter, and then they gave me a 45 liter and the tripod, and then I was
Yeah.
blown away. And then I went and I think I bought the sling on my own. I can fit the full Fuji GFX 50 and 3 lenses in the sling with an iPad and be good to go. I love.
So
all
the
this
sling actually fits in a Harley saddlebag perfectly,
Oh,
but
really?
I can only hold like a camera with the lens on it and one other lens, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
batteries and I can't shove an iPad in there because it's too tight on the walls. But
well, my iPad hates me, but yeah.
So no, they make great products, man. And you know, like a lot of the things that people make that are motorcycle centric, they don't. You know, I don't know. It's. I feel like it's a new world. I feel like more people are starting to carry things like iPads and fucking laptops and cameras and all this stuff on their bikes. And it'd be nice if someone really leaned in more. I thought about like trying, like, how do I get into making bags for this type of shit? Like, how do I do this? Like, I'm sitting here. I was telling you guys, I have a whole tour pack full of camera gear for a bike trip. It's just insane. And the whole time, every time we go somewhere, I'm like, dude, if someone just walked by and just took my tour pack off.
Oh. Yeah, you're toast.
Fucking 20 grand gone. You know what I'm saying? $200 gone.
$220.
Not really worth it.
Not worth it.
You know?
Yeah.
But no, it's one of those deals. And also, I have a hard time of, I feel like I have to take everything on a bike trip. I might need this one lens that does this. And, well, maybe there's one time I'll need that. And I won't even touch it. And I'm like, why did I bring this?
Yeah, I've been there. I was there for a long time.
I mean, your setup was pretty minimal. You just edited all on your iPad, right?
Yeah, I didn't even bring a laptop on this whole
I
trip.
usually do that as well.
pretty
It was
quick.
great.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, and before we go too far down the camera talk, have you you've seen all the hype with the Leica Q2 coming out, that kind of shit? Have you noticed any of that?
I've used one. It's pretty good.
It is. Fuck.
But I prefer. So the Q2 is great, sensor's great, autofocus great, does 4K, great. I don't really touch video, but I can't pay that much money for a 28 millimeter.
Yeah,
I don't like 28 millimeter. You know,
Well,
I like it for some stuff. It's great for a lot, but for me, I like 35 if I had to choose one.
Yeah,
and that's
agreed.
why.
Show off your setup.
No, this is just this is the everyday carry around.
Is that a Fuji?
This is the full frame Sony RX1R.
Oh yeah.
And I think,
Unfortunately, I'm a Canon guy, so I'm not allowed to spend.
dude, just like with motorcycles, it doesn't matter. I'm a Nikon guy and a Fuji guy, and I guess
This fucking camera's a lot of money though, from what I remember. It was like still a $3,000 camera body.
yeah, you can find them in really good condition for like 22. But man, I kid you not, there's no compromise with quality.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Q2 is great.
I'm thinking about it for like exactly what you were doing on your trip. So my lenses on the Canons are massive. So when we're like, hey, dude, we're going to go check out this pizza joint in town tonight and go hit the bars up, I don't want to have this massive fucking goddamn thing hanging off my shoulder. You know what I'm saying? So something kind of a point and shoot style setup is like the idea.
Yeah, dude.
And I was trying to do film for a while, but then film is fun until it gets dark.
Expensive.
Until it gets dark, and then you're like, well, I'm fucked. I can't adjust anything other than, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, I want a camera. I thought about getting one of those Fuji, but it's not full frame, and I'm kind of a snob and shit with that stuff. So
Well, when we get done, I'll show you some stuff I've done with this, and it's great. But I think for what you do, yeah, Q2 would be perfect. Because what it has over this, it's got it's weather sealed.
yeah,
28's great for shooting, on the highway next to people, and yeah, also no compromise on quality. And you can get them for like $4,500. So affordable now.
yeah. The camera game is weird. It blows my mind that I'm so willing to spend and invest all my money into it without necessarily a payout that's like visible. It does help my brand in every kind of way, but it's not like, I've got all this money invested in this and I've made it back. Definitely have.
What's the ROI?
Yeah.
Return.
Yeah, write it off.
Yeah, I mean,
Have your fun.
You could just pay taxes.
Yeah.
No, I do want. I don't know.
Got him.
The soft world we're living in. Yeah. Oh, I don't want to carry my camera. It's too big. You could have been a caveman, dude, where you were drawing shit on a fucking wall, hoping a mastodon didn't come in and fuck you up in the meantime.
A mastodon? What is that? Isn't that a band?
It's a band named after a
like a saber-tooth tiger, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
woolly mammoth. It's
Woolly
like
mammoth.
it's like a big bad woolly mammoth.
So it's like a.
Could have
Woolly
been drawn
mammoth.
stuff. Could have been stuck with.
Woolly mammoth.
ooh, man.
So it's
You
a.
could have been doing more than 20 years ago, and the best you had was what? A Polaroid? Come on, man. Take your big ass camera, flex on people, get good pictures of it.
Well, when you have a big camera like that, people are like, oh, what do you shoot photos?
That's a nice camera.
I'm like, no, you fucking idiot.
No, I'm trying to develop an upper back problem.
Yeah.
So I carry this around.
I carry this to pick up chicks, dude.
Pick up a lot more guys with a camera
Hell yeah.
than chicks.
Cameras are like the same as Harleys. Like, it just brings dudes to the yard, dude. Dude, is that the new Lucky Day seat?
My favorite on that, and I know I've seen you do it in Montana at least, is when you have a camera like that and a drunk shows up. And they're like, oh shit, take a picture of me. And all of a sudden they want to go photo shoot.
So here's the deal.
I hit a nerve.
Hey, yo, take a picture of me.
Look for a good picture, though.
So you're not going to want the Leica. Because that's exactly what happens.
Oh, yeah. I was in Key West a couple weeks ago. About a month ago, and we were in the Hemingway house, walking around, checking out. Loved Key West. The only part of Florida that's worth a damn, 100%. We're in the Hemingway house, and this guy walks by, and I see a Q2 on his neck, and I just had to hit my buddy and go, it's a $6,000 point-and-shoot camera around that dude's neck. He's like, I thought all cameras were expensive, and I'm just like thinking to myself, like, what does he do for a living?
Excuse me, which bar do you go to meet
Can you
creatives?
fight better than me? That's what you need to say.
Hey, can I try that camera real quick? Yeah. Just hit him with that run.
And then half the time it's on like full auto when they
they
hand
don't
it
know
over
what the
to you.
fucks, Yeah. No, it's one of those deals. I've been seeing it's gotten real popular on the YouTubes lately, but I can't justify it right now. Just for being that kind of like everyday camera. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know exactly what you mean. That's why I got the bootleg Japanese version of it.
It's such an addicting thing because, like, the same thing happens with taking pictures of stuff. It's like I go out sometimes and I don't really get the shots I wanted, and you have that low again, like we were talking about earlier. You just have those highs and lows, and sometimes you come out, you're like, fuck, everything that I click right now is just fucking gold. And it's the same. It's 100% the creative process. I think people deal with those ups and downs and shit. So
Absolutely. I think that if someone tells you they're not, they're either lying or not well.
yeah. Man, I don't know. It was fun watching all that stuff though with you guys going on that trip. Like, what do you think if you were to wrap up 2022 already?
Yeah.
Like how would you say this year's been for like the plans that you made earlier in the year? What's transpired? You know,
This year, fantastic. 2020, 2021. You lose the momentum from, that you had built up in 2019. Everything shut down 2020, and then you kind of had to. I think we all used, or at least I did. 2021 was like building up more momentum. Keeping in touch with people because your clients have gone insane too.
Yeah.
Over that time, and but yeah, this year I couldn't be more thankful for it.
Yeah, just be able to get out and do it.
Yeah. Like it let me afford to just go dick around with David for a month and motorcycles. It was a blast.
Yeah, but so I mean, if you think about like 2021 for you, and then like the inception of all this Goldwing nonsense, if you will, madness.
Yeah.
How did you come into 2022 versus how it ended for you? You know what I mean?
We're not exactly planners.
No, I kind of just take it as it comes. Yeah, but 2022 is really, really rewarding. I think 2021, it was fun. Like, I feel like that's when things started slowly picking up, and now feels relatively.
I think almost as soon as we could scrap it together, the Waves for Water.
Yeah.
That was started in May 2021, I think.
Yep.
What is that?
So that's the thing that I did over the pandemic. I just had all this time, and when I created Cafe Racer of Instagram and then grew to this point, well, then I was working with different brands, promoting products and stuff. But then what's like the ultimate goal with the page? What am I going to do? And so then came Built for Good. So if I can build a motorcycle with different people from the motorcycle community that I've met, become friends with, and then give it away to raise money for clean water, which Waves for Water is this nonprofit that I've started partnering with, and do that every year, then I get to help with the creative process and kind of help facilitate a really cool bike build. And then, yeah, it's for a good cause. And then if I can ideally travel around the world delivering these water filters in, providing clean water to people, the most universal need,
Yeah.
that's kind of like enlightenment right there, right?
100%.
So you get to do what you like. And so the pandemic allowed me to plan for that, and then we executed in 2021. And then this year we're doing it with Yamaha. So, yeah, so it continues to grow. And people.
So are you still in the process of doing the one for this year in 22?
Yep.
Okay.
So we're doing like an 80s inspired sport bike this
Okay.
year.
Hell
And
yeah.
so I'd like to do different styles too, because although I started Cafe Racers of Instagram, custom bikes are custom bikes. So it'd be fun to do a chopper one year, you know,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just then a dirt bike or then a sidecar setup or something. I don't know. So, but it gives you that blank canvas then every year to do something different and kind of dive into a different.
So how do you just like pick some of the brands that you work with as far as builders and creators?
Yeah,
And
just
that-
see who's interested, because I don't want to convince anyone to do it either. It's like,
Yeah.
do you want to create something that provides people clean water? I don't really need to say more than that, right?
I'm like, yeah, bro, the way my schedule's set up. What do you need? Need some advice? I can give you some advice.
Totally. No, but it's been good. It's 2022 has been really good, and 23 is going to be better. I
Nice.
think the world's opening up too. So
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, we're kind of. I guess we're the super spreaders because all we did in 2020 is fucking ride the entire country, and had a blast and rode New York while it was shut down and went to Sturgis when everybody said we were going to kill everybody.
Ignored mask mandates, listened to
Yeah.
Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
I snorted a bunch of ivermectin.
Ivermectin.
Yeah, whatever the fuck.
Is that like the ivermectin from Wish?
Yeah, sure enough.
We just out there.
I grew a prehensile tail, but I never got COVID. There you go. I've got horse rooms now.
Yeah, this dude had a mohawk through the fucking pandemic.
The worst mohawk. Like, I look back at pictures of those, they're more embarrassing than like middle school pictures or like even elementary school pictures. I'm just like, Jesus Christ. You fucks are my friends? Y'all let
Can you
me
pull one up over here? I want to see it.
Oh, fuck. No, they're all on my phone. I have no way to transfer. I published very little of them. I had a dark period. I just propped up my friends for like a year and a half.
Well, was it 2020 when the mullet made a fucking firm comeback?
Oh, yeah, hard
Kyle's
yes.
been rocking a mullet.
Since like 2017.
He's the OG Texas mullet. The people don't give him credit, but he's been fucking
Like, we put this much work into it, it's hard to let go. I think Rat
King
Tail's a
Tony.
nice movement, but
Yeah, but before all the Pit Viper, all that bullshit, the new mullet wave, this guy had one. Not only did he have one, but he was willing to just do bits with it, like way before it was cool. Like, oh, you guys want me to do like a Euro trash cut? Fucking say no less.
I got pictures of this
I was
dude's
waiting for
mullet
that.
since I met him. But no, it's I don't know, like 2020 for us was just like this, like, you know, fuck, man, like what do we do? Like
we doubled down on friendships, and
Yeah.
with the world telling us what we weren't supposed to be doing and where we couldn't hang out, we just figured it the fuck out on our own. Whether it was partying here, partying at somebody's
Lot
apartment,
of-
finding a bar just outside the county shutdown restrictions. That was cool.
Yeah.
We just kind of said fuck it. Luckily, like I said, we were in Texas, so you had your people wearing masks and they would give us shitty looks, but it was nowhere near California, some parts of New York, where we were able to kind of just weather the storm. And yeah,
remember we were in New York and the lady in the subway?
yeah, fuck them all. Oh, I sneezed going up some stairs one time. I thought this chick was going to shoot me in the face. But she
We were in
didn't
the
have a
subway
gun.
and this lady, none of us had masks on. Everybody was wearing masks on the subways, and this was last year.
No,
20.
actually, no one really was.
Oh, they weren't?
I mean, there was
There was
a few
a
that
hand-
were, but there was
yeah.
a handful of people that weren't.
Well, this lady kept staring at us. You know, she was probably 40 or between 35 and 40, and she just kept staring at us like, what the fuck's going on? You know what I mean? Then she just had this smirk on her face, like she had a joke. And she asked us if we raided the White House. Or raided the fucking
Capitol.
The Capitol,
yeah.
And we just all laughed. They were like, no, really?
That's a bad joke.
Yeah, I thought it was funny though.
Oh, dude, we got
it's
the
like
last laugh. We're
bad
going to
joke.
bring it on later.
It's like a funny bad joke.
Yeah. But no, man. Well, what do you think? I mean, it's really strange looking at everything. Like, you know, I've listened to a lot of stuff that you had talked about in the first podcast, and you talked a lot about the Cafe Racers of Instagram, and even that trip that you just mentioned about getting the van and driving it down here and selling it. Man, like how do you feel like all this has progressed over the longevity of since you started it versus now, and the spin-offs that it's kind of creating now, as far as where you can like what do you do, like such a massive page, like how do you decipher where to put the next energy, if you will?
You don't. Yeah. I don't even know. Like, social media has just turned into this huge beast. When I started it was pretty straightforward. Post dope photos, right? And a lot of it was user generated content, and it just was the right time, right place, consistency. And then now these days there's that quick content, there's the reels, there's the TikToks, and I don't know, maybe I'm just like dating myself, but it's just I can't keep up with all that.
Yeah.
And so it's tough, but at the same time, I've since established all these like connections with people and people that I like working with, or companies I like working with, where I don't have to go out there and just be sliding into companies' DMs and be like, yo, do stuff with me. It's more like, hey, I got this project. And it's more, you're producing content, and it's proven, right? And then on top of that, now it's like, oh, by the way, I can also share it on my Instagram page. So agencies get paid tons of money to do that, and they don't have
The following.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not making much money, but it's a selling point.
A couple of dollars
It's a
here and
selling
there
point,
adds
right?
up. But would you say that some of the companies right now, are they wanting that type of content, or do they want the general type of content that you've always been making? That's one of the weird misconceptions, I think, that I'm asking this. I think I know the answer, but I definitely want you to answer it. But like, I don't know that type of social media really translate into actual like business versus just like the real shit. All the fucking things that people are doing is the new like chick with big tits on Instagram. It's like you'll get a lot of attention, but it doesn't generate business. Yeah. Does that make sense? Do you think companies want that type of content? Like
the viral stuff?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure
awareness is still valuable too, whether it's, you know, for a specific Harley or not that we did the Waves for Water with or anything. Just brand awareness is very powerful, and I don't know. I think that's.
Yeah, but think
every client's different. You know, some people have, because I've been a part of a few projects with David. Yeah. Some people, super easy. They just want to be either in the background or just a part of it. And then other people give you, you know, a full spec sheet, a full deck with, you know, X, Y, Z. We have to have this. These videos need to be, you know, 16 by 9. These videos need to be vertical for reels. Also, they need to be the same video. So it's really case by case basis in a lot of it.
I mean, he's the one that's really pumping out content.
Well, I feel like I know people want reels. I mean, obviously, right now, if you're not making reels, then you're not doing what Daddy Instagram wants you to do, right? So, but the type of content. So when you have like a TikToker that, you know what I mean, that, like, I don't know that type of content. I mean, it might. I just sound like an old man trying to like convince people to ban TikTok because Chinese people or some shit like that.
Yeah.
But
what about Chinese people?
Not what? What do you mean, Chinese? Got me. Well,
No, totally.
but
I've held off on like 4 jokes where I was like, yeah, I don't know this guy that well. He's cool.
good because I'm sweating. I'm just now, I don't know. I just wonder if there's like this line where certain content doesn't quite.
Did it again.
Certain content doesn't become very valuable because it doesn't actually connect with an actual audience that you're actually trying to sell to, versus it just gets attention. You know what I mean? Because I mean, like I said, I can just hire a very voluptuous model to stand in front of a helmet that I take pictures of or whatever. And I know that that's going to go further.
Yeah.
But how many people are going to look at it for the chick only and have no desire? They're not even into the bikes.
Right.
It's not going to.
Engagement isn't
Yeah.
all the same.
Oh, a whole lot more people
Triple
are.
check that
Yeah. I don't know.
this is uncapped.
No, I'm tired of it for sure.
Yeah. I don't know where I'm going with that. I don't know. I'm trying to understand it. I'm trying to make sense of it myself. And, whenever we started doing well on social media back when Instagram first came out, and there was a lot of our industry that just didn't lean into it at all. They didn't care. Like, I'm old school. I don't do that. And I'm like, oh, it's your loss because this shit's easy to do and it's free advertising. And now it feels like it's not free at all anymore.
No.
Like you might not even have to pay physically with money, but you're paying with the integrity, or you're paying with like not being able to be you. You got to be what, like on YouTube, you got to have a thumbnail. It's got to be clickbait. It's got to be this. So it's like no originality is rewarded unless you're one of the few that break through the mold and become viral. Then you set the new standard, which is weird.
Yeah, it's kind of like HTML for dummies almost. It's like, yo, this is what you got to do, to maximize your engagement and all this. Like, if you click this type of, or put this kind of photo up, it's going to get more clicks. And I don't know.
Yeah, I don't like playing games in any
I don't
part
like
of my
doing that
life.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, even if it kills me, I don't know. I've been just posting up photos that I like.
Yeah, that's the same thing I do too.
Really it.
Like I want to post pictures. I like doing. You ever follow Shock Mansion? Remember them?
Mm-hmm.
So, Shock Mansion back in the day. You remember like E-Bombs World and all that type of shit?
Oh, I follow E-Bombs World.
So it was
Friends that work at E-Bombs World.
Shock Mansion was like kind of this, maybe not as wild as E-Bombs World was, but it was that same concept of a website that just continually would post pictures. And this is like 2010, 2009 kind of era, right before Instagram really kicked off, right? Mm-hmm. So you would go to these websites to see a lot of different photos, a lot of different wild shit. And they used to do like Wednesdays was like random radness, and it would just be like random photos, like a collection of, one would be a sports car, one would be fucking like this badass cheeseburger, and then one's like this nice chick's ass or something like it was just random photos.
How do you know she's nice?
Well, nice, like it was nice to look at.
Okay.
Like just purely subjective.
Like a dope, like a leopard picture or something.
Yeah, like just it was almost like
No,
like
seriously, just it was like good photography, just like
everything cool
was
shit.
sick
Yeah.
ass
You know what I mean?
shots where you see
And-
it go,
Is it still around?
Yeah, well, they translated into social media or into Instagram, and now they have an Instagram page. But I don't know that actually they went as big as I feel like they were as a website. Mm-hmm. But same thing, they'll every week they'll do a random thing, and they'll just take some shots. And so I'm like, man, that's cool. Like, why don't I do that from random shots for a whole month of this past month? Like, random shit, you know what I mean? Just put it out there and just finding new ways to still, like, post things about, like, what's been going on or, where I've been, shit like that. But I don't know. I don't even know where I was going with that.
Viral content, just things like that.
Anyway, I was
Where
just-
you're going with it, you got to, if you're not doing something wild or new, you've got to pay to play.
Yeah.
And I don't want to play. Just
Yeah.
granted, I am thankful enough where I started where, long ago enough where I could get some sort of my work in front of like at least a few people.
Yeah.
So if I were starting out like today, I don't know
Yeah.
how on earth I'd do it other than
Seriously,
showing up to, I used to just show up to motorcycle shows and do stuff for free until they hired me to do the whole thing.
Yeah. I don't even feel like I don't know. It's a weird one.
And yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I mean, I picked up. I decided like to really take it seriously in January of 2020 with my camera
I
stuff.
just listened to your episode with
Mason,
Yeah.
And I had been shooting. My son's mom went to college for photography, but this was at the digital film transition.
Oof.
So she was going to school for film, and so I would use her camera, and then she had to get a digital, and I would use her camera. So I already knew how to play the triangle, if you will.
Yeah.
But I just decided I did a couple podcasts in 2019. We've been doing this like Patreon podcast where we go back and talk about the behind the scenes of each episode. And we just got halfway through 2019. And I've known photographers just doing bikes over the years. You meet photographers that shoot bikes for magazines or in general passing or whatnot. Mm-hmm. And after having a couple of conversations with some ones that I really look up to, I was like, fuck it, I'm leaning in. I'm buying a good camera. I'm spending some money in this, and I'm taking it seriously. And I haven't looked back since. I love it. But I haven't figured out how to turn it into something for people, like for companies, other than like, here's a picture of my bike that I got 100 badass pictures of. Mm-hmm. You know, how do I, like, I don't know. I haven't learned the business side of it the way that you have, if that makes sense.
I mean, I'm still figuring out the business side of it every day too.
Mm-hmm. I just feel like in nowadays world, it's like nobody's looking to pay for photographers for anything at all. It's like everything's exposure, and then like you have more followers than them, and you're like, how am I giving you this free for exposure when you don't even have as many followers as I do? Like, how is this transaction working out well?
It doesn't work out well.
Yeah.
I don't know how that.
Yeah, it's weird these days for sure.
Yeah.
It's because, I mean, you guys do quality work, but then there's someone that's hungry enough that's just willing to give.
There's always going to be someone that'll do it
something
for
for
free.
free.
Yeah.
For free, paid for a helmet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And man, it used to make me mad, and it just doesn't anymore.
Yeah. I can't hate anybody's
because like
hustle.
I would do the same.
Yeah, it's
thing.
a hustle.
I was that kid
Yeah.
to somebody else at some point.
Right.
You know, from the any shoot that I do now, I'm sure it would have been like minimum $30,000 in the 90s, and now it's $2,000, $1,500.
Oh shit!
Like,
Baller?
No.
Balling?
That was not
Bro.
supposed to be a flex.
I'm coming here
like-
showing your muscles and
but
shit.
like, I
Come
was-
on, dude.
Bro, buy me a steak after this. Come on.
I will take you. We will go to Waffle House and I'll get you the nicest steak they got.
Y'all
like-
are getting paid?
Yeah, so used to get mad at it, but
Yeah.
you can't.
Yeah, it's tough. But I mean, I will say this: like looking at your body of work that you've posted on social media, you've got skills in lots of different areas of photography. Not just like I was telling I think him today. I was like, if I have a very beautiful woman in front of me, it's easy for that photo to look good. If I have a really really good looking bike in front of me, that's an easy photo to take too.
And sometimes you got David in front of you.
And how do you make him look good, right?
Yeah,
It's tough.
So I looked at your stuff, and there's just like this nice body of work from the cars to the bikes to even the people you shot, where there's literally compositional skills within it that I think that you gather over 13 years of shooting photos. You know what I mean? And when I say I'm not making money doing this, I'm okay with it because I know that I haven't put my dues in yet to have a completely have those kind of that kind of skills compositionally and technically behind a camera. You know what I mean? So it's time. Like I'm in college still doing this shit basically.
Yeah.
I'm 3 years in now, like deep, like putting some effort into it. So, I'm hoping that when I'm 10 years in that I can sit back and say, yeah, I made $1,500 shooting that.
Well, that's a for normally, it can be for a job like that, a day of travel.
Yeah.
You go there, shoot for, there's no such thing. Well, there's very few, 8-hour days or half days.
Yeah.
We're doing 12, 14.
Yeah.
And then, you go home, archive, edit. So it's,
Yeah, it's a lot of
3
work.
days of work, 4 with travel because I don't like to work at the airport.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I don't know. It's
just time, and I'm okay with it.
the second someone offers you something, don't even question yourself. Just do it.
Mm-hmm.
The second, because, someone's going to reach out soon, especially if you're, as tenacious as you just stay as tenacious as you are, but don't freak out because you'll be like, oh, am I good enough to do this? No, you're going to figure it out.
Yeah. I'm feeling pretty good about it, but at the same time, I just, like I said, I'm not rushing it. I'm also scared that if I start making money on it, then it'll just flip a switch, and then it'll be a hustle instead of a hobby passion, if you will. So I don't know. Kind of
It's a fun balance.
Yeah, because I enjoy it. It's a great hobby.
Oh, man, I've gone through that.
Yeah.
Especially once when I quit my job to start doing this, when I was working at FP when I quit my job. And, when I was there, you can only take the cool stuff. And then all of a sudden, some dumb hotel or like the Ojos Locos restaurant asks you to do a photo shoot.
Hey,
for them.
take it easy.
And, you're like, well,
Me or more.
got to pay rent. So I think that if you can find the line between saying yes to the stuff that you like can enjoy, then do that. But
I'm not sure
it's
that
turned into something that I hate at least 3 times over the last 10 years or 13 years.
So I don't know. There's certain people or certain things like that. If I got hit up to shoot something like that, I was like, I don't know. I'd have to go study that world of that type of like what they want to kind of get an idea of what to do. Like, I'm not sure I can just walk in and be like, oh yeah, you stand over there, you stand there, put that chips and salsa in your mouth, let's go. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. Because I feel like it's going to happen soon for you. Just say yes.
Yeah, just figure it out.
And you'll figure it out.
Push them together.
You seem like you're like a healthily, like, I don't want to use pride as a bad word, but like you're proud of your work and, technical and.
Well, yeah,
so you figure it out.
Being a custom painter, you know what I mean? And like growing up in like, getting into it before social media and then having to do the grind that was before that, before YouTube, before when you had to actually walk up to people and talk to them and introduce yourself, and you had a portfolio which was almost like trading cards in a bag or in a folder or whatnot. Like it made me a little bit more appreciative of all the people and where they are ahead of me, and I've come to the realization that like over time you'll reach those goals if you stay doing things right. Like you stay on the course, you'll hit those things. But patience is one thing I didn't have when I was younger, but I have it now. And that's why I'm looking at the photography journey as more of a marathon instead of a sprint. Like I want to do this and I want to be good at it, and I want it to always enjoy it. So I'm trying not to burn myself out on it the way, I kind of have with certain parts of other areas, in paint and things like that. So I don't know.
You sure you want to make money out of it then?
I like to look at it like this. Like, I like that I can go and paint a helmet and that pays some of my bills. I can bust my ass doing this podcast and getting people on and doing this, and then that pays some of my bills. And if I can go do a photo shoot or 2 a month and that pays some of my bills, then I feel like I'm in this perfect world of getting to do a couple of different creative things where I'm just completely like it's never the same thing every day, if that makes sense,
That's exactly how it, that's exactly
one of the first lists people will tell you to diversify your income for sure.
I like saying diversify my portfolio because someone said that in a movie once and it sounded cool.
Wu-Tang said it in the Dave Chappelle's diversify your bonds. I think they You almost got me almost doing in-bomb on it because I think that's what they say, diversify your bond. That's the Wu-Tang financial
He's been
skit.
drinking all day.
No, not all day. But that's the Wu-Tang financial skit.
Okay.
Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, that's kind of. I think of that shit.
I think we started watching Chappelle's show at the Wingo Tango tour when they first put it on Netflix.
It's classic.
Before and then he took it off for a week, and then they apologized, and then it was back. That was a good time.
Yeah.
David, we had a real nice Airbnb.
Did y'all finish it? Did you get through all 2.5 seasons?
No.
Oh.
We were there for a week and had to build that motorcycle in
Gotcha.
5 days, 7 days.
7 days.
Dude, finish it if you can. It holds up. Like I watch
It's
it.
still funny.
We made it through 4. There's some stuff that definitely wasn't on TV whenever I was watching it growing up. I feel it was out of control.
I watched them all, and I feel like they all. It was the same shit that aired in 2002, 2003, and some of them are almost prophetic in the sense that how would they have known this, and we're still the same fucking way.
Well, Dave Chappelle's a genius.
Oh yeah,
100%.
They're so good.
Yeah,
and he rides a Royal Enfield. Did you know that?
No. I didn't.
Yeah, did you see that?
I did. I was listening to that clip today.
The one he did on Rogan where he was talking about jumping on a bike and riding across country and how it cleared his head, and it's this is dope. But having more, honestly, man, I feel like a lot when more celebrities are more vocal about their experience of riding motorcycles, it really does kind of connect with people in a lot of different ways. You know what I'm saying? Like when we had the 90s, we had movies like that. We were talking about the whole Harley Davidson Marvel Man, but those movies fucking help motorcycling out a lot. And we just don't have a lot of that shit now. after fucking Biker Boys came out, that did so much for the sport bike community.
Yes.
Joking or not, torque, joking or not, like that shit still.
It's pretty entertaining to watch.
It made people like, fuck yeah, that looks cool. I want to be a part of it. Same thing with fucking with Fast and the Furious for the import movement that was going on.
Ruined my life.
Yeah. Same here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, those cultural things in movies and shit, like it transcends into like everyday life for people because they're showing us a very polished fucking romantic idea of what this world could be. But when I always remember saying this, I've said it on the podcast a million times, when I watched the first Fast and the Furious and they have the meetup before they go race and everybody's looking at the cars, and I fell in love with that movie. It's like, dude, this is so cool. And then one day I'm driving home from work and in a parking lot was that. And I pulled up in it and I'm just walking by going, here? Wow, that's an RX-7. That's, like I didn't know these cars existed in Dallas. You know what I'm saying?
Was that Saigon Mall in Garland?
No, that was this was Six Flags Mall in Arlington. And I just, to me it's like once like a movie, I got to experience something close to what the movie showed me existed. And the movie's imitating life anyway, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man.
But Texas was huge for the import scene. I remember all the YouTube videos of 1,000 horsepower Supra, twin turbo Supra, racing a Hayabusa and stuff like that. And yeah, it was just
Cheese Frog and
Texas was, I mean, you guys
T1.
have the roads to actually crush it.
Now it's George Bush, baby.
Yeah. I got out of it way before like the YouTube thing happened. Like my time in imports was like Fast and Furious.
Yep.
That's keyframe in there.
2000?
2001, I believe.
Yeah.
And then until 2004. And then I was biked from 2004 to here. So that was my run. And
what was your poison?
Nissans, 240 SXs, SR20s, Skylines. I never owned a Skyline, but we worked on them back in the day. Mm-hmm. So you remember CTC? Remember them out of Dallas? They used to build a lot of turbo stuff out in like Garland, like Richardson area.
I only know German.
So German used to work at the shop that I worked at.
Okay.
So before he opened his shop, he used to. I remember this dude.
He's wild.
Yeah. When I met this guy back in the day, he would. The shop was more. It was a tuner shop, but it really didn't have a garage connected to it because this is that point where a lot of people were importing things, exhaust system like Blitz exhaust and blow off valves and shit like that.
Richardson Imports.
Yeah. Before all that, honestly, there was a shop in Irving that German used to come to, and at the time he drive like I want to say it's a first gen Supra, like the 80s one, I believe.
Celica Supra.
Yeah, it looks like that. But this motherfucker was turbo out to here, just retarded, right? And we can still say that on this podcast. And so I just remember, hanging out with him and talking to him. And then when he started his shop, like I had been out of the import thing for a long time, but when he started his shop, we connected a few times, and I was like, dude, it's awesome to see how you've grown in this. And, you got Sylvias everywhere and, all the super shit he ended up doing later on. And
that RB26 S15 he's got is.
Yeah, it's insane. But it's just wild, like knowing this guy used to do this shit. He used to he'd be doing motor swaps in goddamn Whataburger parking lots basically back in the day. He was ruthless, man. Like he was just down to do whatever, like get it done. He was just, he bled.
The old DSM Thomas, do you know him?
No, I don't know.
Same thing, only he did 4G stuff, which.
So the shop that he was kind of helping out that I worked for, my first time ever going to California was in 2000, was at the end of 2001. So that's how quickly I've weaseled my way from Fast and Furious came out to I'm in the middle of it. Fortunately, I knew how to paint cars, so I was like, I'm in. Put them in the middle. Yep. So we, I drove with this dude. His name was Sammy. He fucked a lot of people over after I stopped fucking with him. But we drove to California, rented a U-Haul, and brought back like 6 240 front clips and 1 MR2 rear clip, right? Mm-hmm. And we traded one car that we trailered out there for a 300 Lexus 4-door, fully 2JZ'd out, like actual 2JZ motor, not the one they put in there, but the super one.
Yeah.
And brought that back. And we had to repo a Honda motor out of some dude in fucking like some area in LA. We had to go to this parking garage.
Like repoed a motor?
Yeah, because he had sold it to him on something back in the day, and the dude never paid a certain thing, so we went and took it out of his car. He let us in a parking garage. Literally pulled a Honda motor out of the fucking thing. Pulled
BRD's here. It's not too bad.
It's not
it's
bad.
wild.
But I'm talking about it now, so it was really cool to me, so don't ruin my story.
Oh, no. Sorry. That would.
But it's doable.
Yeah, it's doable. But at the time when I went there, you know, it's like, you know, we had the Super Street magazine, so we'd see like June Racing and Signal Auto, and the drifting thing was becoming real. It was popular in LA, and hadn't quite made it across the country, but we loved that shit here because of the old Initial D videos. Or was it Initial D or
Initial D?
Was that the video? I know the TV show Initial D, but they had the
Ketchy Tsuchiya Drift Bible.
the drift stuff. So
that was YouTube.
Well,
King?
yeah, that was.
Tsuchiya?
I'm just talking about before YouTube.
Tsuchiya's best motoring.
Pre YouTube.
Yeah.
This is before the internet had enough bandwidth to run a video on it, dude. All they could do was pull up pictures and words, and you could play Yahoo Pool. That's about it on the YouTube.
Not E-bombs is actually like rotten.com era.
Ooh.
Ooh, rotten.
I think that's even further along.
That was like 2002.
It was cool then. You know,
That's so rad.
the car thing here, like the import thing back in the day, when we were doing it, like nobody, you knew of a couple fast Hondas that had like LSV techs and some shit done to it. And then, of course, your big dogs like your Supras and RX-7s and WRXs were around at the time. But, man, like those 240s were sleepers, dude. Nobody knew about them. You know, you could easily just suck up some cars, and that's how we – I mean, I only got out of it because I racked up so much street racing tickets and shit that a sport bike was a better alternative. I could run at that point.
Yeah.
So that's how I got out of it. But,
Man, that's wild.
It was a wild time, man. But honestly, that shit, I fell in love with the garage aspect. Being in the garage, working on this thing. Me and my buddy, we had lunch the other day, and we were just talking about how we would go street racing. We'd blow a transmission in the car. He had a tow strap. We'd strap it to my car. We'd go back to his house. The transmission's out the next day, and we're at a junkyard the next day picking up another one because those 240s were so common, and you could fit a current like what's I guess a U.S. or a domestic training.
Don't say a KA.
Yeah, KA training.
Okay, just the training.
Just the training. You can actually change the bell housing out, and it'll bolt up to an SR20. And so I'm like, dude, there's unlimited transmissions in these motherfuckers. I can get them for $150 at Pick and Pull.
Yeah.
You know, go blow them up on the weekend and then bring them right
they're all
back.
expensive too.
Dude.
Yeah, retarded.
S13 and S14 prices are so crazy right now.
Yeah.
I should just test drove a GST Spider.
For real?
Don't you dare.
Well, my first one was a GS. I had an Eclipse GS.
Was it the model from the
It was from Fast and Furious.
Okay.
Because I watched the movie and
Yeah.
all that stuff. Should have gone with the GSX.
Third gen Eclipse.
But then
GSX,
I
bro.
test drove the GST because it was a good price. The mods were right. It looked clean. I was like, all right, let's go check it out. And then the dude started it up, and just the exhaust was so loud. It brought back more trauma than like good, like positive memories. I was
You're
like,
falling
nope,
off the
I'm
camera.
good.
Railroad tracks like go through your vision.
Yeah, it was funny because I test drove it too, and
Monica.
sure as shit, like it just like
You picture Johnny
stalled
Trey
out on
and all his
me.
boys.
Yeah, Monica.
This guy's running a Honda 2000.
No,
Did y'all
too
see
soon,
that?
Junior.
Did you see that thing that was going around where the Round Rock police, someone called in saying, I got the drop on some illegal street racing, and then they responded like, what do you have? And he goes, Hector's running 3 switches.
They just play the clip.
No, it's all written down. Like they wrote it down and they sent it to like this police department, like a message
That's a
thing.
script.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Road's closed, pizza boy.
You know, that's funny because I think Round Rock is one of those handful of police departments across the state that they like to get real snarky on Twitter and shit. Like they'll make a bust or make an arrest and they'll like try to shit talk the dude that whoever they got to like, oh, this is why you don't run from us or something like.
Yeah.
So anytime that get one over on them,
Yeah.
fuck those guys.
When you go to Austin tomorrow, you'll pass through Round Rock on the way down. So
Keep an eye out for it.
Yeah.
I'm actually here. I'm
drop a
actually here
gear,
till Sunday.
disappear. And litter if you got it too. If you got save up any Whataburger and trash you have, and as you go through Round Rock, just fucking both windows, dump it out. Drink it. I'm gonna actually give you some money for you leave. I'm gonna get you a 12 pack, and I just want you to throw every fucking beer. Only in the Round Rock area. 30.
Don't do it in Georgetown. They're good people up there. Good God loving people. No, that was, I don't know. How did you fall into the import thing? I mean, obviously you worked at a Subaru dealership, huh?
No, it
was
was
it because you liked the lesbians?
It was a who doesn't?
Who doesn't though?
Not those ones, dude.
I was in the Hondas in high school because it was all I could afford, and then ended up building a, Dart and Sleeve B20 GT 3076.
I don't remember
T1,
the numbers, but I know
Tony from T1 tuned it. Dumped all that money into that stupid car. Met some Subaru people at this really awful shop that's still in Louisville. Got that opportunity to do the Pikes Peak stuff.
Nice.
And ended up working at Vorschlag Motorsports, which is a really great shop out in, I think they're in Princeton now. But more on the motorsport side of things than making stupid cars fast.
Yeah.
And then left there to work at Force Performance Turbochargers. And then that's when I, had enough, business kind of lined up to quit my job and get going at it.
And do the photo stuff and all that full time.
Yeah, so I was in dumb import cars since I was 15.
Still in it.
I can't
still
fit
love
in
them.
them anymore.
I still love them.
Like the 240 so low to the ground, and it's just not enough space in there. It's like you're driving like I just can't fit in them anymore. I had a GS.
Get yourself a Miata. They're the best.
I go through these phases where I'm like, I go on Facebook Marketplace. I'm like, what are these cars going for?
Too much.
Dude, the Skylines right now are retarded.
They're ridiculous.
Too much.
You could almost just buy the new GTR.
Yeah, exactly. Like there was an R32, like an actual Skyline GTR. R32, they wanted $50,000.
It's like $50,000. It's like,
I'm like, bro, like that. When I was younger, like you can get those things all over the place for like $20,000.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that new all-wheel drive Corolla before I get that thing. And it'll
that
beat
thing
its
looks
ass
really
too.
It looks really sweet.
But I don't know, man. I don't know. I wouldn't mind having a GTR because they didn't make a Skyline here. A GTR would be a dope car to have just to be able to have the American version, but. Man, R34, dude. Like, what are the R34s going for? They got to be at 100.
Midnight Purple one last week on Bring a Trailer hit 320, I think.
You serious?
That's
God
crazy.
damn.
Not even a Nurspec, not even a Nismo. It's like Midnight Purple with rear wheel steering.
You know what else really enforced my love for that is Gran Turismo 2. That was the only video game
Big
that
time.
really leaned into the Japanese car culture. They had a SIL 80 on there.
Yeah.
You could do a Galant VR4.
Yeah, a Galant VR4. They had them in
I
there.
had way too many.
We'll take
of
this
those.
lady.
What's that?
I said I'll take this lady.
Yeah, I mean
That's my favorite car.
that's better.
That's my favorite car.
These are
you
dirt bike guys growing up.
Yeah, I don't know if it was Gran Turismo 2. I had a Gran Turismo on PlayStation 2 at one point, and I would pick the Cobra R and just turn.
You're so American.
Yeah, and dude, trash it all around the track. I never finished a race. It was like GTA. I never finished it. Just a fucking Neanderthal out there smashing into stuff.
Just cutting everything, hitting the wall, and just riding the wall around.
People out, bounce off of people.
Nah, I feel you on that. No, I enjoyed it for a while, man. But the car game is like a big money game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
there's a lot of money.
And for some reason, a lot more, I don't know, ego involved.
Well, you know what really pushed me out of it was I had a little gig going where I would, there started to become a lot of different people in Dallas Fort Worth that were selling front clips that were shipped in.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew them all from selling them when I worked at the shop. So I knew where to get them, and then people knew where to find us to get them put in. So I knew how to do the 240 swaps using Japanese wire harnesses or American wire harness, all these different ways to do it. So I used to have a little kid. I'd go to someone's house in their driveway, drop the fucking motor, put a new one in, wire it all up, and they're running. And it was all good because back in the day to get a turbo car, unless you were getting a Mitsubishi GSX or GST or you were paying some money for
Colt.
There was a couple of cars out there that had turbos, but then the Dodge Neon comes out.
blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. And then the Dodge Neon comes out. Then the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo comes out.
Evo 8.
And then, you know, the STI was already out, but it just became more and more popular and got more available to people. And next thing you know, like everybody was just going and buying these cars off the lot. So you're basically going to street races and you're racing some kid's dad's fucking this Sweet 16 fucking kid's thing. You know what I mean? It's like, I was like, okay, I can't afford to do this. You know what I mean? Like I got my whole life in this car that's 5 different colors. You know what I'm saying? That I pieced together from junkyards, and it used to kick ass, but now it's, you know, it's not. So it's like, I was like, I didn't see the future in it, basically, unless you had the money to go spend on all that stuff and make a car look badass and run fast. Which,
I'm really glad I found motorcycles when I did.
Yeah, same.
And kind of, I'll still do some car races with our friend Shake every once in a while. We'll do like 24 Daytona or Sebring or something. But yeah, the motorcycle world has been so much more fun.
I watched a YouTube video of these guys. I think they were in Evos or STIs, but they drove it from Florida all the way to Alaska.
Really?
And they just did a whole YouTube thing on it. And like, I guess I'm so in love with traveling that every different, like if we could do a horseback, that'd be the shit, dude. I'm at
Just pick the shitty car. I'm gonna go from here to Anchorage. You're like, oh, I'm in. Okay,
dude, let's get a wagon, bro. Like you get a horse, I get a horse. We'll fucking hook it up to a wagon.
Horse is way more reliable than the STI.
But I found myself like super enthralled in just all the different ways that people do these type of travels, and each one creates a different experience. And I don't know. I'm just interested in it. I've been looking down on like fucking Facebook. Like I'm going through a phase where I want like an old school luxury car that's sporty, like a BMW or a Mercedes, like a late
740
80s.
IL.
They have a lot of those. I'm thinking more 325i coupes.
Okay.
You know,
BMW for sure.
but like the 90s. You know what I mean? Something
80s,
kind of
90s. You got to buy them now, otherwise.
Dude, the 80s
they're
one.
going
So
up.
I was leading into this point.
You got 560.
90s,
Yeah.
90s are cheap as hell. 80s, these 325s and all these cars, $30,000, 15
They're
grand.
expensive.
It's retarded. There's that word again. And I don't get, like, I don't know enough about BMWs to know why that's so much. You know what I'm saying?
I think. I mean, it's probably just because we're all at that age, and
Yeah.
just people.
We're buying the shit we grew up
they're
with.
buying. Yeah,
I really like
I mean, that's
the
why I
36.
went to just test drive a
Yeah,
GST
yeah.
just for the sake of test driving it, and then it was no way. Even though the deal was good, there's no way because again, more trauma than like pleasant experiences. That test drive was
you were
pretty
like
funny.
30 minutes away from having to fix another vacuum leak.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it was actually funny. I took it for a test drive, came back, and the guys said to me, "Wow, you got it back. Congrats! I'm impressed."
I thought you were gonna buy it on this trip. Yeah. What's your if you could have any car, has to be 80s or 90s. What's your go to? No matter what it is.
80s or 90s.
Was a 99 R34.
Yeah, that's kind of cheating.
It's cheating.
Yeah. That's not that unique.
I just test drove a 1990 Mitsubishi Delica up in Minnesota. Right-hand drive, 4x4 turbo diesel. Thought about consolidating some of the toys and just using that.
That'd be dope.
That's pretty cool. It's just a tiny little tank.
Is a 94 Porsche RS America out of the question too?
No, that's
Because
fucking
that's
the
the
one.
halo for me. Period.
Nice.
I want it. It's got all the RS stuff, but no turbo because I hate turbos because they break things.
It's just
Despite how much fun they are, despite I love
Turbos
them,
are only fun if they're stock.
I don't have enough money to have a fun turbo car. But yeah, that's the one for me.
Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, the Skyline stuff is, I mean, that's pretty much my go-to as far as that. But, man, I've had 2 non-running trying to get it there Grand Nationals. And that's what I want so bad. And I went down a rabbit hole again last couple of weeks, like,
The mullet of the
See if you
Skyline.
can find it.
see if I can find me a
Yeah.
good Grand National. And I'm like, the last time I was looking at Grand Nationals, they were like 20 grand, like clean, 30 tops for like a mint
Yeah.
GSX or GNX or whatever it was.
What are they now?
50 grand.
Thanks, bring a trailer.
And it's only been 10 years.
Yeah.
So I found a Grand National that was running. No, it wasn't running. It had the motor, but it was blown. Picked it up for like $2,000. And, but I didn't really know much about, the motor. So I was like trying to find someone in Dallas that could work on it. Found a guy, but I really couldn't afford it. You know what I mean? So I just was sitting on something that I've always wanted, but I couldn't afford to get it up where it needed to be. So I ended up selling it. Then I bought a T-Type that was in the same boat, thinking like, oh, this will be cheaper. Same fucking thing. It's just couldn't afford it, ended up selling it. And now I'm looking back on it like, fuck, I really can't afford it now. You know what I mean? But goddamn, they look so good.
They do
so
look
sick.
really, really good.
They're just mean-looking cars, man.
I love those things.
Yeah, so badass.
There's a few in Plano and Dallas that roll around.
I love them because back in the day we used to street race. There was a guy that had a Cutlass, but he had a full, the V6 turbo in that. And I remember like being a noob, for lack of a better term, at the street races. Like with my 240, like what the fuck is this thing gonna do? Right. You got a 305 in there, dude. You know what I mean? Smoke my ass so nasty. I'm like, dude, what? Open the hood, let me see. You know what I mean? And fucking turbo just sitting right there, going, "What's up, bro?" Dude, it was a wild one. But yeah, that same thing. That they look so good when they're done up. I was always used to the Buicks and the Cutlasses looking like lowriders and shit like that. That I never really thought them as like fast cars. Yeah,
chariot cars.
Yeah.
No, they get it.
I know what I would want. I'd want a first gen 4Runner. It was a convertible truck. It was basically the convertible pickup.
Well, how about you switch it to something cool like a Hilux Surf, which is a 4Runner diesel.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty sweet. But I pretty much have the toys I want. I've got my 67 Toyota Stout, lowrider, bags,
beautiful
280Z. That's all I need, really. And then camper van. Subaru XT.
And I was about to say, what about your Forester?
Yeah, Forester's cool.
I think it's a cool flex, like y'all follow like Button Built?
Yeah.
So remember they were running around on like that old Ferrari or maybe a Lambo. It was like
It was a Ferrari.
I think it was a Ferrari.
And then
like
he went wide body with it or something.
Yeah, wide body, air ride out.
Yep.
And I was like, man, that's such a cool flex to go like straight 80s exotic car on people. They wouldn't even know what happened, dude.
And then cut it up too.
They're not that much, right? Can't you get like an 80s Ferrari for like 20 grand or something?
I don't know about 20 grand, but it's kind of weird because like Lamborghinis came down.
Everything 80s right now.
There are 80s Ferraris out there.
Go up.
Like the ugly champagne.
Yeah, I swear Jones
nonsense.
is looking at, I mean, kind of probably halfway joking, but I swear Jones was looking at one 2 or 3 years ago, and it was under 20 grand. Like, it was like, oh, good luck, but it was there.
Here's the body. Well, Mike Burrows just finished I think it was 308. Put a K20 in it and put a giant turbo in it and released it at SEMA.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking that'd be kind of cool, like a cool flex just to pull up on like a Countach, but those are really expensive.
Yeah.
But like the Gallardos are relatively, like when you think of Lamborghinis, like you can get a Gallardo for fucking like 70 grand, maybe even less now. I had a buddy that bought one for 90 grand like 10 years ago, so I don't know. There's some of them that just kind of.
Every kid that bought that poster at a book fair, just wherever you roll
The
up.
Countach.
I had a Countach poster.
Yeah. Everybody
book
did.
fair.
Did y'all see that Lamborghini documentary biopic series or biopic movie that came out?
No.
It's got Frank Grillo in it.
No.
It was actually pretty decent. It's on like Amazon Prime right now to rent. But it kind of talks about, they were a tractor company before they became the Lamborghini, the cars thing. But yeah, they just, it was decent. I mean, for a car guy kind of thing, it's a good movie, but is it going to win an Oscar? Fuck no.
Well, I mean, I like the hour-long video of Patrick Stewart interviewing Sterling Moss. Yeah, that's one of the best ones on YouTube. So yeah, I'll check it out.
It's pretty good. But yeah, I don't know. I'm starting to kind of like those older cars now.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I've been looking too much on Marketplace. It's dangerous.
It was like you wonder if like there's anything you can even do if you did get one and needed to work. Like, is there parts for it, or you have to join like a cult to get into the parts place for those things?
Probably. You probably. I mean, do forums still exist?
I think it's like swinging. it's a lot more prevalent. You just don't know about it. Like if you actually try to get into it, you're gonna find you're like, oh shit, dude, you guys are right around me the whole time. Like this isn't even that hard to find. But if you didn't, if you're not looking for it, you would never know existed.
Sees upside pineapples everywhere.
Exactly. Upside down pineapples.
Yeah.
Dude, fuck my wife. Come on.
Oh man, that right.
Oh man.
Good
Yeah.
old White Castle.
All right, how do you know these guys? They're fantastic.
Oh, this is the Quaint Zone crew right here, baby. So these are bike night stragglers. Linger. No, we kicked off a bike night in 2018, and that whole group up there is a travel group. They were both supposed to be on that travel. That was a 2019 pick. Yeah. But he was on a knee scooter, and he was his flight companion on that trip. So they met us in California on that trip. But yeah, they've just been the homies and do our trips. And these two are on the podcast all the time. Like we do like a separate podcast together where we pretty much just drink and like talk about whatever the fuck. Like it's not necessarily motorcycle related.
Yeah, it's just whatever.
But we lean into bikes a lot because that's the only thing we know anything about.
David and Brandon, long story short, we're the two fucking coolest of all the friends. That's why we're here.
There you go.
That's what we were thinking for sure.
Kyle's old lady's out of town, so he's just looking for some friends tonight.
He's like, I heard y'all were eating after. I don't know how to use the microwave.
I was gonna feed the dog. That's my only goal for the weekend. So.
For the last hour, you guys can't see it. I've just been going through shock mansion photos and showing him just big Brazilian butts and cheeseburgers and all kinds of good stuff. Y'all don't even notice. Me and Kyle just been over here just chugging one.
Oh, we've noticed.
Yeah, I think I look.
Yeah, dude. You're like higher than giraffe tits over there, dude. We've noticed.
Higher than giraffe tits. I haven't heard that
don't
one
stop.
before.
Enjoy yourself.
Make sure the cameras are right.
Yeah, man, it's I don't know. No, good friends, man. It helps.
Yeah.
It helps push a lot of things.
Absolutely.
You know, and
See, that's kind of what I meant about just like finding photographers, right? Like, I didn't even have to convince them to come on the Wango Tango tour. I was like, yo, you just want to go?
you want to be here?
You want to be here?
Well,
And
pay for
he didn't
my
know what he was
food.
getting into.
I don't
Yeah,
wanna-
yeah. He's just like, I just don't want to go broke. I want to like come out positive from
Yeah.
this. And
Because there was going to be a little work aspect to it. But
there is some work, but
no.
what I mean,
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
go make something cool and hang
Could be
out for
worse,
a month.
yeah.
When can you go on a 30-day? I'll be on 35 days,
yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, vacation with one of your
and
best
like
friends.
not go broke. You're still doing something, right? At least you're getting this experience covered at the very least, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And so, yeah, I don't know.
yeah. I mean, that's a given. Like if you were so money hungry on that situation, I don't think that you would have even been able to enjoy it because you would have been thinking about the
No.
money aspect instead of like the opportunity to be with your homies and, like you said, possibly create something unique and different that
Oh man, if I was more money hungry, I'd be in such a better place and probably a lot more miserable. But I'm just a big nerd and like making some cool.
You'd have an
pictures.
R34 that you couldn't drive,
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
but yeah, I mean, and it's funny because you spent 4 weeks on the road with anyone.
Yeah.
It's just it is what
We
it
didn't
is.
kill each other.
Yeah, you do want to kill each other at some point too. It was so damn hot. We're just riding like, yeah.
Riding in a van.
Riding in a van in Atlanta traffic at 3 p.m.
Oh, it was so terrible.
No
and the
AC.
Gold Wings are having charging issues. And it was terrible.
Yeah, and
AC was literally the best thing about the trip.
that
You
was
gotta stay out
sketchy
of the
too.
South, man.
That was real sketchy.
Yeah, yeah.
We didn't catch anything super hot. We got lucky. So we did our trip in June as well. But when we left Born Free in California to head home, we had cloud cover. So we rode home in like 85 degrees through the desert in June.
Yeah.
And we got a little rained on this because it took 2 days to get home. A little bit of rain in Texas. But, dude, we had perfect weather in our whole trip. Other than the Pacific Northwest, we were rained on for the whole day.
Rained
Which
on-
Pacific
You were
Northwest?
rained on probably 30
We got
plus %
dumped
of the
on
whole
at
entire
one point.
trip.
But I mean, the beginning of the trip, we were all up north, right? And
Yeah.
riding through Lake George and everything. The weather was perfect. And then right when we got into like Baltimore or something like that, it was just we were in
Yeah.
an armpit. It was just
Was leaving New York proper.
Yeah, it just got so humid and sweaty and just kept getting worse. But hey, we made
part of it.
Brandon, did you say that you almost bought a gold wing on the trip?
Oh yeah. So David, he's not lying when he says he's a Facebook Marketplace just
I have a problem.
insane. He's an addict.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've just been like, what's in this area going on?
He's an addict. So he found this really weird Goldwing storage. What was it? Imagine like a top bag with another bag on top of it.
Yes.
Or a
Yeah.
rear bag with another bag on top of it, but it's one unit. It looks like a 80s black porcelain toilet.
It looks like a toilet, yeah.
And so we go over to this guy's house to get it, and he's got this. If it wasn't red with like awful gold
But it was
pinstriping on it, I would have bought it.
pretty good.
It needed a new front tire, I think, right?
Yeah,
New
but
front
it
and rear
was
tire,
really clean, and it had all the chrome accessories, though.
which is
I mean, it was so gaudy that was good, though.
All my shit's on. My shit's chrome.
if it was the Goldwing like you had, I would have bought it right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really close. But but then we wouldn't be able to do our jobs if we're like have another motorcycle. On
And
the
that was the
trip.
other thing was, do you think you guys could do a trip where you were on a bike, even
Yeah.
maybe if it go with more storage?
So
or is that something y'all are trying to do at all?
absolutely,
Yeah.
but with more planning in the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
With
I mean, this year was all, let's just go with it, right?
yeah.
And
So, and obviously with the bike, with the van not having air conditioning, I'm sure you had times where you're like, God, I wish I was on a fucking motorcycle.
Oh.
What was this last trip?
Oh,
Something where
yeah.
you're like, dude, I want to be out with
I
these
mean,
guys.
yes,
I wanna-
but at the same time, the Goldwing, because of like the full fairing, you're
Yeah.
sweating your ass off
Yeah.
back there.
Yeah.
Like, you're not getting any wind.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
But it's not as bad as the van.
it wasn't as bad. It was awful.
These
And
dudes
David
were
and I-
straight up like, look like they just sat in the sauna. It was, I feel bad. I felt really bad. By Miami, it's like, all right, let's just. Well, the whole air conditioning thing, just trying to figure out that thing was a pain in the ass. Like,
Oh, yeah.
nothing worked out. We stayed in Miami way longer just because we were trying to get this air conditioning. Well, 2 days longer.
Why
Just
don't y'all
because
go to Key West and just knock it off?
we were going to go to the Key
were going
West.
to.
And was it air conditioning on the van or the bikes? Are you trying to get? I just want to make that sure.
on
In the van.
Sprinter.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. It got to the point where it was just so miserable for them that
Yeah.
we just had to get it done. And I mean,
Ooh, that's nice.
you've been getting these pours
Headmaster
just
over there.
right.
Bro, let me put it over here.
Yeah, snorted off the. I got you snorted.
Yeah, I don't think that's how Guinness is supposed to be poured. You're supposed to have about that much head on top. Fucked it up, but that's okay.
Well, they used to have it separated, right?
That's
It
pretty
used to be in
impressive.
two different.
What's that?
Yeah.
Is that the viscosity? Is that what it's called?
It's got like a
Surface
little
tension.
ball in it or
Surface
something.
There it is.
Oh, viscosity is the how slow it drips.
What's the
The
thickness?
thickness, yeah. Surface tension.
Moist.
Very V moist.
So sexy.
Thickness. I thought that was called the old ex-boyfriend test.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
Well, so like, I mean, you don't have to talk about all this, but like, you know, when you talked about like working with brands to make these trips a little bit more palatable for you guys, as far as like cushioning it,
Yep.
is it something that you get everybody on board with that it's on the trip? So like you, Big Joe, you know, obviously all the other guys, like everybody knows, like, look, this is a vacation, we're having fun, but you know, we have to do a couple of things to kind of, you know, keep the lights on, if you will.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, we had to figure out how to bring Freddie and Brandon out and like make sure that they're properly compensated for like their time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, could use more money, but enough, right? Where I got them to come with. And so there's still stuff that you have to do, and we've been working on that stuff even after the actual ride, just
Yeah.
to get the content for the people to the point where they're happy. But the thing is, you're also building a relationship too. So when we come around with Wango Tango 2, I don't really have to do any kind of convincing because they actually are
already saw.
super stoked.
Yeah.
Like Hip Camp stoked. Like we're riding vintage motorcycles and we're showing moto camping, and they actually are a great platform for, I can stay at this farmer's like barn. Like we stayed in a barn.
Oh,
We watch movies. We watch Pirates of
All right.
the Caribbean.
We stayed in a barn
Like,
that Oh man, I've got the photo of it where
It was sick.
they got,
Like there's been
retransferred.
sweet spots, right? And so for them, this is exactly what they want, right? And you don't necessarily want someone that's just on the coolest bike with everything just decked out and everything just looks super glamorous and influencer hyped up and all this.
Thanks for describing my life.
Shoot,
Sorry, man.
Damn it.
I'll go kill myself.
I didn't know that he would know.
Well, the barn, it was clearly haunted by that
We've been
weird little. Was it
whatever
like
that
the
was.
photo of that?
Yeah, they had the old photos where it's
Like really old tintypes
Oh, I love those.
of like
old barn
demon children.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
It was wild.
maybe there's like a little blur of a spirit or whatever, energy or something like that.
I love it.
That place was great.
But
So,
anyway, like just working with brands.
What's the name of this place again? The
website?
the site?
Hip
Hip Camp.
Hip Camp?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's legit. It's way better than staying at a hotel.
Look at all the photos as you're looking through it, but it was great.
Like all the spots were.
Price wise, what would you say it is difference between?
It's probably comparable to a hotel room. And
But like, say if there's 8 of us that we do our trips with, you know what I mean? Like,
they like that. Some of them encourage like group camping and stuff like that. And my hope is to be able to do the Wango Tango tour, and then have Joe and I actually like bring on more gold.
like maybe
wing
someone comes and
riders.
tags along for certain parts of
Yeah,
the journey.
like it'd be
We
great
met
to kind of
Ilya Kafka?
Kifa.
Kifa.
Yeah. I had a buddy meet up with us and tag along, and this first one was just us just doing it, right? So the hope is then, can we create like a Wango Tango tour where people can just jump on and jump off whenever they want, and we're providing them a dope place experience at each of these stops, and we lay it out, meet us there, ride with us as long as you want, do whatever you want. I mean, I think, like you said, people watch this stuff and they want to be a part of it. And so if we can just literally open it up to
Make it
anyone to
available,
show
yeah.
up.
And I'll say with like your thought on, your top box having everything you own in it, like all your camera stuff.
$220 worth of gear.
All $200 worth
Yeah.
of gear. You're having 8 people with you on a long road trip. There's a lot of stuff in those bags. Leave it at even a mediocre hotel. Even if you bring it inside, there's just always that worry. A lot of these places where
I mean, the hosts
the
are literally
highway,
coming up to
on
you and just
private
making
land,
sure you're good, right? It's very personal.
so it's very safe as far as your shit not getting messed with.
I think I'm more interested from just the unique perspective of being able to stay in areas that's probably not, you wouldn't be able to normally, right? Staying in some kind of
absolutely.
like,
In Florida, after Miami, we finally left Miami. The Love Lodge was my favorite. This place was so cool.
Yeah, this lady's a.
I got to pee so bad. I've been holding it for way too
Dang it!
long.
Can we just take a break because I'm about to bust?
we can actually, it's live.
Okay. Yeah.
So when he gets back.
We're live.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah, so we stayed at this place called the Love Lodge after I think it was the night before. David's like, "Yeah, I got us a storage container that's finished out, and it's got AC because we were still very
Deprived.
we were deprived of AC, and I would have been a horrible settler. Manifest Destiny wouldn't have been my deal. I'm
Yeah.
staying over here." So he says we've got a storage container built out with AC. We get there. I should have had this photo just ready to show you. It looks like it's about to get locked up, and we're going to get like shipped away to another country.
Like it's a trick, like you're going to get trafficked.
Oh, big time. So you walk in. There's kind of some flooring loosely put together. There's a AC unit with like 1.5 inch gap in between the top of the unit and the outside. And man, there's a single light bulb, and then just like shit all over the floor, half a futon, and like a pile of air mattresses, and half of them have holes in them. And so the next night, he books this place called the Love Lodge, which I guess a few weeks before it had been, they just wrapped shooting some indie horror movie at. But big giant wood cabin with a guest house, and I mean, I really should just show you the pictures.
Yeah, you can pull it up, just don't be quiet. So.
No, I won't be quiet. Anyway, it was weird how like the contrast of we'd stay somewhere that we really didn't love so much.
Yeah.
And then the next place we stayed at one house where if we would have been there a day before, we would have been able to, learn how to process a chicken, package it, take it with you.
Just wring its neck. Yeah.
No, they do everything.
Yeah.
They made us breakfast.
This was the chicken you were petting last night.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. I've got a really great photo of some hogs getting real comfortable with David.
My friends have pictures
Real
of that with me too, but I made them delete them all and sign a fucking secrecy pact.
It's blown.
It's called an
The
NDA.
NDA. Okay.
But I'll never forget my time in Alabama.
Is that his name?
Oh, this guy. Got me, you fucker.
Hey, you got to get one. Oh, see, and this is the problem with all the... we haven't even talked about our friend David yet.
What do you do?
He toured, let's see, I think Africa, China, Middle East, all throughout the mid-'80s and '90s on a GS with a sidecar while raising a child.
On the bike? Wow.
Damn.
We haven't even gone over meeting our pinstriping friend Chasten Brand.
That sounds rad as hell.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, I'm
Was the
telling
wife
you,
still involved or the mother?
The trip was
He breastfed the kid.
okay. The Love Lodge. I mean, that was the vibe for it, and you can dig through all those.
Yeah, that's rad.
I'm giving him the keys to the Wango Tango album, so he might have some questions, but I'm gonna hit the head real quick.
No, that's cool. No, it's like those are the kind of like things that you'd want to check
You
it.
get to find a place like that and stay at a place like that with all your friends,
Yeah.
versus another hotel late, motel late, hotel, motel. What is it? Holiday Inn.
You take the hose.
Depends
to the
on how much
hotel.
money we have left on the trip.
Right, totally. I love the sketchiest ones. The sketchiest hotel I stayed at was during Barber Vintage Festival, and all the hotels are booked up in Birmingham, except this one, and it was. I can't even begin to describe how nasty it was, but it was the most memorable. I made it. It isn't that bad.
But did you die? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I like those old vintage style motels that you would see, especially in like the old towns that used to be like alive
Used to
and
be-
popping.
yeah, I
they'd
love
have like
those
mini
things.
golf everywhere and shit. They were like a tourist attraction to the other
Yeah.
towns, and they just kind of
Those are the most attractive
yeah
places to stay at, especially when you're with a crew of your homies.
yeah.
Who's gonna mess with you, right?
Some of the funnest times has been like I'm talking about our group. It's our hotel stays where we just get drunk in the parking lot.
Yeah.
In the middle of nowhere, we don't have time to find a bar, but we hit the gas station before the beer shuts down, and we just fucking kill a couple 12 packs.
Those are the most memorable. Those are the best times.
Yeah. Remember we did that in Oklahoma? Well, me and you rode up there, and then they met us all there?
I think that's yeah.
Yeah, we've done it so many times.
Yeah. The best.
It's funny because then I also have the friends that would never do that. They'd
Yeah.
be so grossed out by the places that you're staying at.
Yeah.
Just being.
That's our wives. Literally on the same trip I'm talking about.
Wives and some of the friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I was saying. Like some other friends are like, why would
If they can afford to build a bike, quote unquote, build a bike, don't invite them on a real riding trip. Let
Yeah.
those guys trailer it up there. 'Cause
So
they're gonna
that's
go,
what's exciting about these like international trips. You go to Colombia, I'm going to Thailand. Like we just rough it out. It
Yeah.
is what it is. And if you are expecting just the all inclusive resort, honestly, I don't even want to be your friend. Like, come on.
They are cheap as fuck in Thailand though. So
Yeah, I mean it. Yeah, you're right.
I say $10 or 10 days for $300 at a very nice.
It's
But you don't get the experience.
Yeah, you don't get the experience. That is true. But like, just
Excuse me, bartender, is that a lady boy?
Right.
I can't tell.
David's not a planner.
I'm not a planner.
So what we do
I
on our
just choose a
trips,
direction.
we do on our trips is we plan. When you have 8 people and you want to stay in a certain spot or you want to camp in a certain spot, you have to plan ahead. You know, showing up to San Francisco and trying to find an Airbnb for 8 people on the spot.
No, it doesn't work.
It's horrible. Or
for 4 people.
yeah.
It's tough.
So we like to do like, okay, we want to go to this town and we want to do this here. So we want to go ahead and book something here. But in between, we call those freestyle days. Like, between this and there, we got like 300, 400, 500 miles to do. We're going to check all this out, but
You don't want to say you're going to have to be there, and
Yeah.
then, like, if you're behind, then you're just
so
miserable.
we might have 2 days to get here. If we want to do 200 miles today and 500 the next day, we're good. Or
Right.
we can do, or we can, you know what I mean? We
For sure.
have it up in the air based on how we feel and what we want to do. So
I mean, I feel like I'm just pitching hip camp, but like we also did stuff where it was instant book. Where last minute we stayed in this tiny ass trailer. In Georgia after we just rode through the rainstorm, and the reason why we had to do that was because of the rainstorm. We couldn't ride any further; like it was just pouring on us.
yeah.
But
Was
we were
it
both
the Dutchman?
the Dutchman.
I got a picture of a gold wing next to a trailer right here.
Oh,
On
the
your-
one
on your
with the
page, yeah.
the one with the flagpole.
So if you drag that screen,
The one in the river.
yeah, you can
the
also
river?
drag that screen to the right, and it'll put it up there.
Here, I'll show you. The one where Freddy's opening the
Oh,
door.
do you have the
The one with
is
the
this
mold
drive
on
right now,
the
or is this
beds.
the page? Oh yeah, that one was. Well, the shipping container is probably the hottest one.
The one with AC.
The one with an AC unit that could not cool down that shipping container at all.
Yeah.
What
We
state
also-
was that in?
We were also just taking shits in a little barn.
In a pop-up tent.
And kids were running by.
Yeah, that was probably the most awkward part of the trip was the place with the storage container. Our
was the most
shower was an
awkward one.
Ozark like pop-up one from Target with a water hose, which is fine. And then the bathroom was one of like the compostable ones that you put on the toilet. But there were this family's like children walking around picking up the chickens as you're like trying not to.
While you're trying to take your morning dookie.
Dude, my shits are violent, bro. Like, I'll blow a compost toilet out the fucking water, dude.
Same.
So, you know, when you have a physique like this and you eat the way I eat spicy ass food that shoots out the back end, dude. Not fucking around, and nothing solid's coming out of me, dude.
The bottom side of your toilet always
I'm
looks
pretty
like it has
regular.
freckles.
You know that too. I'm like 5-6 a day. All the time. It's pretty bad.
What state was the shipping container in?
I was in Florida as well. We were supposed to go hang out with the manatees. But then the air conditioning shit. Remember, we sat in a McDonald's waiting for them to call us.
That's
to
right.
Tell us when.
So you already doing what was that, Crystal River or something like that?
Yeah, it was like kind of like just north.
On the west coast.
Northwest.
That's where our buddy does the down south camp out over there.
Oh, cool.
And it's just straight trashy as fuck over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, again, see, I love it though. Like we
I got
had like
bed
good,
bugs
we
this
had
last time.
seafood like right before that too. Yeah, bed bugs.
I'm just now like my sores are just not going
I
away.
feel like I had like a rash the entire time.
yeah.
I joined the Klan last time I was there. It's that part of Florida.
Florida is so interesting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we were on Manatee Road.
Manatee Road, yeah. We got in Florida. The first city was Orlando, and we pulled off on this exit, and this car just cut off
Oh
the
my
Gold
God.
Wings and this Harley, dude. And we're at the stoplight. They're trying to turn right, and the Harley dude just rolls up, opens up his hard case, and just pulls out a pistol and just says something, and then just holds it there, and then the car just slowly turns away. I'm like, well. Welcome to Florida. We are in
First
Florida.
exit.
First
off of Florida.
exit off of the highway.
Wow. Yeah, that's that looks like where you hold people before you ship them to Europe.
That's
to
what
be
I'm saying.
Sex traffic.
Or deported.
Yeah.
Like it
Or
was
just sold for organs.
Yeah, it just
That wasn't expensive though, right? I mean, if you were
that's probably
No.
like that was probably like $75.
holy shit, dude.
Yeah. But it was for the four of us. But it wasn't also It wasn't great.
Have you ever slept in a Love's parking lot?
You did not sleep at all that night.
No.
You did not sleep at all.
I'm all for like experiences like that and shit like that. But
I am now. I love it now.
There's also I think that we go through a phase where sometimes we will rough it up in a couple spots, and then we're like, you know what? I want to go full fucking
Treat
bougie
yourself.
in this place. I want a resort.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to pay for a resort fee on top of this hotel. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I think if you did that 2 out of the 7 days out of a week,
You'll
it'd be a
appreciate
good
it more.
balance,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there were times that when we got into Florida, into Orlando, Brandon got a little hotel hookup where we took a shower.
Oh yeah. So half my money comes from I do a lot of hotel work.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey guys, we
gotta just bougie it up a little bit.
I don't like to call in for favors, but you just give us a night at the Epicurean. Tampa. Was Tampa not Orlando?
Was it Tampa?
Yeah.
It was Tampa. My bad. Yeah.
I heard hotel hookup way different.
Yeah. Hotel hookup and showers. Wango Tango.
Hell yeah.
We had a little fun, but even the bad ones now I love that story.
But that's the thing about just bad memories. You get through it, it's just a good story afterwards. Like
Yeah.
The worse it gets, once you're right. Once you get through it, the
Yeah, once
worse
you're
it
through
is,
it.
the better the story it
Yeah.
ends up being on the backside of it.
You know it's bad whenever you just all lay down and one person just starts laughing.
Yeah.
It's like, I
Well,
can't believe I'm here.
I like Brady.
Yeah, like what is going on? Yeah. I mean, I feel like we had plenty of those moments.
There's a lot of photos of David and Joe passed out on the side of the road in that album too.
Dude, I've slept in like I always do truck stops when I travel. I've slept in those things many times. They have trucker lounges, dude.
No, it's I'll tell this really weird story. I mean, whatever. Handbill show, driving back up. I'm in a van with like 4 or 5 dudes. We stop at a trucker stop because we couldn't find a place, and we just sleep. We all just pile in and we just sleep.
Mm-hmm.
First thing in the morning, I'm like, oh, I got
It smells like fart in here.
No, yeah, because I have to take a shit. Pop open the doors and I hop down just right when I hit the ground, just sharded myself.
Yeah.
Well, that was my first truck stop shower. I like went to the back of the trailer, grabbed my underwear, walked in there. It's like, I'll take a truck stop. I'll take a shower, and then while you're at
they're
it,
just showers
could I get
here.
I asked straight out, like, could I get a plastic bag for my dirty clothes? But the truck stop shower was like the nicest shower. It was super clean. It was all white tiles.
You have
and
like
shit.
your own
Like,
bathroom and everything in there.
yeah, it was. You had your space. Like I could have meditated in there. It was
remember
so
your
great.
number?
I walked out of there all like chipper and stuff, and everyone's like, "Why?" I had coffee with me. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a clean man."
Today's
now.
episode is brought
Little
to
do
you
they know,
by
though, I like hopped down.
Truck stop shower.
Well, it's because of that. It's because of the in and out, dude. I knew it was a bad idea. In and out for sure.
For sure.
But truck stops are great.
Yeah.
They have all
They
the
come in
amenities.
clutch. Yeah.
How many inverters did we buy on that trip?
Way too many inverters. Yeah.
I like how I'm really glad you told me that story because I have so many of those. I've been waiting on.
You're not
opportunity to
alone. We're not alone.
talk. Kyle was just telling us his shit story. He shit on himself last week. At the bar.
No, this week. Right.
No, it was a while ago.
Dude, the funniest thing was I think on our big trip, me and Cody had I think we ended up having not an official bet, but how many times who was winning the who shit on each other.
On each other?
I think I shit myself twice on our last trip. Just
the
just
last-
little bits. Just it touched the underwear.
Yeah,
that
it's just like
counts.
it's just it's there.
The last trip we took, we had somebody shit on themselves like the first 3 or 4 days of the trip. Like somebody was like, "Oh fuck, dude, I should like."
Big Will Cody shit on himself first, and I was like laughing, and then all of a sudden it was me.
But it happened like if somebody else happened. It was like 3 days where we're like, Jesus Christ, is this gonna go 8 deep, or we're gonna?
don't have to talk about that one.
Everybody gonna get afflicted by this?
We're all getting old and shit, and we
When I
just
finally
can't
pulled
control
over
our
for
bowels. Buttholes loose as hell.
Oh man, you can tell that if you want. I don't have to tell.
Come on, Brandon.
But yeah, I mean,
I don't-
like shitting yourself is just it puts your like
I
ego
feel,
in
you
check.
know,
it puts your ego in check. It's like you
Rogan
could be the
always
coolest person.
said,
You're still gonna
if you're
shit
not
yourself.
shitting on yourself, you're not taking enough chances in your life. And I have to agree.
Nice.
And you're all the way off the camera.
Oh, I need to get in.
You keep going further away from him.
man.
Is he just putting off some pheromones or something from me?
He needs to go take a shit. No, I'm just kidding. No, he's not.
So, no, he always said that. It's like, I mean, I don't know. The older you get, man, you're used to farts being normal, and they're just not anymore.
Yeah.
They are not.
You know, I think it's something the government's doing.
I wish, trust me, I
You're
wish,
trying to
They're
gas
putting
us
some
all.
shit in the food. And it's just
I
like
wish I could lump that in with my complaints about the government, but I don't think so. I think it's just our own bodies and our own personal choices.
yeah. But I don't know. I took dude wipes on this last trip with me. That saved my ass.
Literally.
Dad joke central over here. So you got
You can tell your story?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You remember when we went up
You're
to
sitting
one?
over there like you got the checkmate of all shit yourself stories. Come on.
And then you're like, why didn't you pull
Oh,
over
yeah.
sooner?
No. This is.
Let's hear it,
This
B-Dog.
isn't the. This isn't Wango Tango. That's why I was confused.
Oh, this was on Wango Tango. This was our first like ride up.
the one.
The one. Was it on the Husqvarna? So
No, this is on Ducati.
it was on the Ducatis. Yeah.
Yeah, we had the bright idea to ride from
Dookie Gottis.
from Oakland.
You fucked up my pour on that. I was doing good.
No, what was it? We had
Yeah,
the bright idea to ride from Oakland to Laguna Seca and back in a day
That's not too bad.
on a
On the Sport
Ducati
Classic
Sport
though.
Classic, the most uncomfortable
It
motorcycle.
looks cool, but it's the worst. It's the worst cafe racer if you're talking about comfort. You just laid out. It's so uncomfortable.
How would you know? You didn't ride it.
Yeah, you're right. I had a scrambler. It's good.
Oh shit, yeah.
But I pulled over, and he's like, he doesn't even say anything. He just goes straight into the bathroom. And what happens?
I don't know. I really don't remember. I must have blocked it out.
Yo, he destroyed the toilet.
Oh yeah, I ruined it.
There's photo evidence of it. And
Really?
he's
What
like,
city were we in? I'm sure I took him.
just somewhere along the way. If I dug back far enough, I could probably find the photo you sent me of the destruction that you caused on that toilet.
I just remember being mad because it was freezing cold,
I mean, it was freezing.
and I wanted to.
And he
Go,
had to take a shit.
yeah.
I have a very embarrassing story, and I'm buzzing up to tell it.
Well,
But I didn't shit my pants that time, so I don't feel that accomplished.
I know.
I do booty hole
did.
kegels, so that ain't getting out of there. I do it for David though. So.
There's not much more irritating than shitting on a cold toilet, huh? Like when you're like camping or somewhere where it's cold, like elements cold, and you sit down on that first. I hate it.
Yeah, it's a rough one, man.
Yeah, let's hear yours.
One year, I think it was 2018. 17. I sold my Dyna, and I sold a paint job of mine to some guys in NorCal. So I was taking both of them up there, and I was already almost home. I was coming back in the Dallas on 287. I was like, man, I got to shit. I was like, all right, I'm almost home. I'm just gonna hold it, and I held it all the way until I turned on my actual street. On my street, and I lost it, and some came out.
That's a mind game.
Some, yeah, and I failed, dude. I was not ready for that. I lost, so a little bit came out, and then I kept trying to hold it, and I had already texted my wife to unlock the door.
Like I'm dilated 2 centimeters.
I swear, at the time,
Drowning.
this house that we had 2 bathrooms. One was
Pretty
real close
dark.
to the
The door with the hose going.
Yo, get
should've.
that bidet ready.
I came in there and I was like my sphincter wasn't quite
convulsing.
holding. It was pulsating, and a little bit was coming out each time. And so I was just piling shit in my pants. I could feel it. It was on my thighs, dude. I came in, and as I was like into the bathroom, I shut the door, and as I was pulling my pants down, I had a spray
God damn.
before. And mind you, I've been out of town. I just drove back from California. I haven't seen my wife. She's at home. She's like, hey, what's going on in there? I'm like, don't fucking come in here. I got to take a shower.
Start packing your bags. We're selling the house.
I had to take the toilet apart to get the to get the shit from all the fucking cracks gone, dude. It was like it was a good hour in there between showering
cleaning.
and cleaning. And then I have to walk out naked. Hey, babe.
Clean the bathroom for no reason.
What's the next day? She's like, yo,
No, she knew.
babe, what's this chocolate on the door? Like, chocolate? This ain't chocolate. It's doo-doo, baby.
I just started over. A whole new life, whole new relationship, everything.
Push it all these walls, Ray.
It was a rough one, man. I've had a couple. That was the worst I ever had it, though. I just gambled. That's why I'm not a gambler, because shit happens. You know what I'm saying? And
The worst is when you're on a ride with a ton of dudes. You're going on a trip. You're the one that has to take a shit. You don't want to. You just filled up on gas, and all of a sudden it's like, oh shit,
yeah,
I gotta go.
I feel like it's the best time. Like nobody will understand more than a group of dudes when you go, "Oh, hey, dude, all hell
dude,
broke.
turn it around.
I got to do this." Like,
I gotta go.
oh, fuck, we got you, dude. It is what it is. I've had a Tinder
we have
date,
any
my
oh shit
man.
moments?
Been talking to a broad for about a week.
think I did.
Had
No.
a Tinder date. Went to a Mexican food
But I did
restaurant.
have that time. Where friends
Nothing
like,
was
"Yo,
out of the
it takes a
ordinary.
long time to gas
Nothing
station."
was so far gone to give me any room to pause. Had a nice couple brisket tacos, a couple few margaritas. Head back to the house. We start watching Deadpool, and man, we're about 20, 25 minutes into it, and all of a sudden,
he's on a Tinder date.
it's in just a girl, and it's pretty much. I knew I pretty much had it in the bag at this point, but all of a sudden, honestly, top 3 worst diarrhea I've ever had. Where I was like, "Oh, excuse me," I go to my bathroom, which is just, dude, I'm in a little 2-bedroom townhouse, like it's not big, just off to the side, and I go in there, and when I say I shit my guts out, I'm not overplaying it.
You Deadpooled
shit
that
my
toilet.
fucking guts out. I ran through a pack of matches. I had the shower on. It would not. It was one of the it was straight out of a scene of a Ben Stiller movie, and I'm expecting her to be gone when I get out. I get out. So much of the movie has passed. Now we're from like a little bit before halfway to like way after halfway point.
You're on Act 3.
Yeah, dude, we're coming in the closing act. And I was like, oh, she's still here. She fucking likes me, dude. I got this in the bag. So we do that. And I remember we finished the movie, and I'm nervous, but I'm thinking by the time it's done, the smell's got to be dissipated. Like I said, I burned a bunch of matches. It was not. Dude, the movie ended. I walked by my bathroom, and I was like, oh, fuck. Somehow I slept with the chick, but it was horrible sex. She was the most like zombie, just lay there like, oh, I don't want to be here.
starfish.
Went through the
No, that's what I was just kinda
mustard
wish. She's like,
gas cloud.
Never talk to her again.
Did you find her on Wish.com?
No, she actually got married. That was one of the. I've got a handful of chicks that I was the last guy they were with before they got married. She was one of. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I
Good luck
chuck
dragging.
this chick. Yeah. The next guy she got with, she was like, "Fuck, dude. Okay, you're good enough. Wipe me up."
I've hit low.
Oh no, but it was when I'm in there shitting and it's straight, and it's my house, so luckily it's a little less pressure, but seriously, straight out of like a Long Cane Poly, except I just wasn't wiping my ass and trying to flush with like but it was.
That's why you gotta get a bidet.
The worst. Oh, dude. When you want to
Bidets
text her and go,
are
just
game
go home.
changers.
Just leave, dude. I'm
But
sorry.
if you walk into someone's house and they have like a add-on bidet, I don't know if I fuck with that. Like I feel
Would
like
you use it?
it's almost like you have add-on like contraptions to have sex as well, like a swing and shit, right? It just seems like in that category, as opposed to if you have a toilet that also has a secret squirter. You know what I'm saying? Like if
Yeah.
you walk in and your shit looks like RoboCop on the toilet. It's got buttons and fucking.
I mean, Japanese toilets are incredible.
Give me a Toto any day.
Freaking amazing. But yeah, I don't know if I would dare use a bidet, but at the same time,
Have y'all used one?
Oh, yeah.
oh yeah.
What was that?
Get yourself a bidet with a heated toilet seat. You will be in heaven.
That was weird. What's that sound? They shooting?
What was that? What was that?
Down there. Huh? Nobody's down there.
Sounded like something big hit the outside wall.
Is the back door open?
I don't know.
Oh, it could have been that door slamming shut.
I don't know. Hopefully we don't get
Oh, well.
killed. Anyway.
Anyway. Enough of that shit.
You guys use bidet? That's fucking gay, dude.
I like Miatas too, but I think we'll be fine.
Bidets.
I was just looking at a lifted Miata today. It's like, oh, damn, that's really cool.
You don't have a gambling addiction. You have a I wonder what's on Marketplace addiction.
It's bad.
Big time.
What
I'm
I
the
have-
same. That's the only reason I have a Facebook account.
It's, yeah.
Only reason.
Birthdays and Marketplace.
For the birthdays, dude.
Birthdays
it.
and Marketplace, yeah.
That's a good point.
I know a guy that'll leave work for Marketplace deals. And he'll just straight up like, fuck. He's
Hey,
like,
I gotta go.
I gotta go.
there's an OBS Chevy for $500. This motherfucker is wanting it right now, so I gotta go. So
You're
I was like,
talking
well,
about me, basically.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
I sold. I had a hard time. I sold a set of stretched bags, a drone, and a camera, and I swear I had it up there for 3 months.
Yeah.
Good fucking deals. Like I did my research. I was
Market
priced
price
right
and everything.
right?
Yeah.
And dude, it was just fucking pulling teeth. Like just the amount of questions that like I'm a consumer, so I know what to put in the ad. And then I would put everything out there. This is a brand new. I bought this, Mavic 2 Pro, brand new.
Right.
I literally flew it a couple times. I didn't tell him I wrecked it into his bike, but I flew it like twice. Had to buy new propellers for it, so it didn't look like I wrecked it. It ran fine. It was nothing wrong with it. But I'd literally never used it. It sat on the shelf in here for probably a year and a half.
Yep.
And I was like, I'm just going to sell it. I'm not into it. It's a waste of time. There's going to be 5 new iterations come out, and this is going to be worthless. So I had it up for $1,000, and that's about where they're going for on Marketplace. And then I'm getting questions like, how many batteries does it have? I'm like, it has one, motherfucker. It's only, if I had more batteries, it'd be posted in here. Like, why are you asking me questions that don't
Right.
exist? It's the most annoying thing in the world. You know what I mean? Dude, people like will, I don't get this, but they'll literally Jew you down so much. And I know I've gotten in trouble with people.
Take it easy, Kanye.
Yeah, my bad. Sorry. What's another word for Jew in that situation?
Whittle? Maybe? I don't know.
I like whittle. I like whittle.
Whittle works. Chip away.
I like Jew.
No, chip me down so far. Like I don't know, man. It's like some words just fit the fucking narrative.
I'll
you know
come
what I'm
today. Give you $100. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I listed up for $1,000. I'm not that desperate to like get rid of it.
Bro, like not everybody's at the middle, like having a crisis right
Like
now.
no one, yeah. I'm not in.
So a dude, he said, "I'll give you like it's up." I had it originally up for $1,200. I was totally fine with taking $900 for this thing. I gave myself some room. Dude offers me $500. I was like, "I'm sorry, I'm not interested." I got cash right now. I'm like,
Me too.
"Yeah, dude,
It's
I'm
not enticing.
I'm not hurting for
Yeah.
anything right now, bro. Like, just because I'm selling something online doesn't mean my life's in shambles and your $500 is chipping away at what I owe the government or some
Right.
shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, calm down. It looks fine on my shelf for less than,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Then you need to put that shit on fucking eBay, Mr. Monopoly. All right, Facebook Marketplace for meth deals. That's it.
That's the thing. It also comes with the territory for sure.
Fair enough.
Marketplace, yeah. Some people. I've had this guy. I listed up this bike I have at the shop. It's just like this Kawasaki KZ 400. It's cheap. I have it listed up for $800, and this same guy keeps on. Is this available? Would you take a trade for a Jeep Cherokee 1990 Jeep Cherokee? Runs well, and he just keeps on doing it.
Yeah, dude, those people.
I'm like, well, I don't want this. Why would I want that? What are you doing? Are you just hitting up everyone and just seeing if they will take a trade for a Jeep Cherokee?
Well, you know that whole culture of those people that
What's
are trying
enticing
to
about a
flip their
Jeep
way up?
Cherokee?
Yep.
Easy now.
Yeah.
I saw
Well,
a TikTok with.
I saw the
Jeep
pictures. It
Cherokee
wasn't
that
worth
had
it.
2 Jay-Z in it, so
Well, okay.
it was sick as fuck.
That would have been great. All right. Yeah.
I've
But
had,
it wasn't that. So I get
It
that.
wasn't that.
I never get the guy that wants to trade me something that I actually want. You know what
It's
I mean?
usually something you don't want.
One dude is like, "Hey man, what do you would you trade something for this?" Like what do you got? He goes, "What do you want?" I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah. This is. I'm not looking for. What do you have?
Do you have something that is usually of equal or greater value because I'm not going to go down on this situation.
Do you have a speaker helmet?
It's plugged in.
I know, I'm not going to play it.
Yeah. Well, it's just
That
like
would be a worth trade.
yeah. I don't know. There's
Speaker
some
and
things. Yeah, you can like listen to music while you don't put it on.
Start a reverse trend.
What is this, a helmet for ants?
Just like
It needs to be 3 or 4 times.
Bigger.
the way people try to steal from people on Facebook, you can start out where just start agreeing to the low ball price or something like, yeah, dude, come on, I got it. 500. You want it for 500? You got it. Just beat his fucking ass when he gets there. Sure. It's like, you're not robbing. You're actually not committing a crime.
There was
You do it
one.
enough times that people quit lowballing.
There was one of those where it was you showed the string of text message and he's like, oh yeah, $100 for something that costs $1,000. He's like, yeah, for sure, meet me here. And then like they go to this whole correspondence of all these messages on how to get there and the address and everything. And he finally gets to the spot where he's like, and the guy messaged him. He's like, I'm at like a comedy club or something. He's like, yeah, because that's a joke with how much you want to pay for pay for my shit. So maybe you can tell it there. So
That's really good.
made this dude go out.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, it's just wild, man. But yeah, it those people that are like, it's almost like a gambling addiction that are just in this hustle. Like, I want to flip this to turn it to this to do that. And it's like they
Why
make
are
it
you
look.
talking about me?
Well,
I'm just kidding.
no, I mean I'm not hating the thing. I just find
No,
that
it's
like
people get really into
yeah,
it though.
it's like you see there's a lot of those YouTube videos where a guy will like, I'm gonna trade
Start
this
with a
paper
pencil,
clip or pencil, like something minuscule,
right, and just
right?
trade up.
and
There's
then
one
trade
that,
up.
turn it into what he got, like a first gym Boxster.
Dude, I've seen people trade up to a house on YouTube. Obviously, there's got to be some.
There's something
They're
involved. Yeah.
they're bullshitting on some of that, but at the same time, it's like if you also look at the way like the TV has portrayed the car culture on TV, it's always about like finding the deal and reselling it for more with the least amount of money put in it. So it conditions people the same way these movies and Fast and Furious conditioned us like what we want. So you produce a bunch of fucking motherfuckers that don't want to pay for anything. They want to hustle their way to the top. Or they feel like they're getting hustled if they buy something of what it's worth at value. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I got fucked. Like, don't those things go for 50 grand? Yeah, man. And didn't you pay 50 grand? Yeah, dude, fucked me. He fucked me. Like, sounds like you bought what you wanted for what it costs. You know what I mean? It's a weird like dynamic that goes on.
Even selling motorcycles sometimes. It's not worth that. People go out of their way just to tell you that's not worth that.
Yeah.
So are you trying to buy it? No, I just want to let you know.
Just want to tell you.
Your ad is bogus.
That worst question though, how low
will you go?
low will you go? What's the lowest you'll sell this for?
Yeah.
It's the first message almost every time.
I don't even reply to those anymore.
Yeah, I don't either. Because I honestly, if you like, when I'm interested in something, I usually I won't lowball them unless it's like a legit thing. Like if I'm on, I just bought a lens 2 weeks ago, right? And regularly it's about $1,800 everywhere, but I saw like 3 of them in Texas for $1,600, right? And I was like, look, if you can come to $1,600, I'll go buy this. I'm not trying to lowball you. It's just that there's other options.
Right.
Yes, I have to drive a little bit to these, but we're talking $200. I can drive to Austin and back for $200 savings. And he's like, I'll do 60 over what I asked him for. So 1660. I was like, fair. Saves me a trip. I'm not paying $1,800 for the deal, you know, and he's still selling for what it's going for online, right? But at the same time, like, I'm not going to hit up a dude and be like, yo, I know you want 18, but will you take 800?
It was disrespectful.
It's
Yeah.
so disrespectful.
Yeah, it's like,
And how often does that actually work?
yeah, who's going to be like, well, maybe.
You know, yeah, I'll take less than half of what I'm asking for.
It works sometimes.
It's got to.
There's always somebody in a divorce situation or some crackhead deal where if it never worked, then there
shit,
wouldn't
I got
be
a story.
there wouldn't be dudes out there beating that drum. But there's dudes that'll beat that drum because they know.
I mean, that's
every
why they
now and
do
then
it.
you'll get that
That's
guy
why
who
they
goes,
do it.
"Fuck it, I need it gone today." You're right.
So 2017, Jesse, my little brother, and Brad, we were trying to find Jesse, my little brother, a Sportster. So we were literally on Craigslist. I think Craigslist was the dominant one at the time.
Yep.
And we would all three had cell phones, so we would all text them within 10 minutes with
Offer,
some
like, different
stupid
deals, yeah.
offers, hoping, and we were all laughing. Like, we got to a point where we were like, hey, man, dude's asking for $4,000 for the Sportster. Like, hey, would you take $2,000 and a Sony VCR DVD combo? Just like joking around, laughing. We were actually looking for a deal, but we were like
$1,900 and a bunch of Polaroids of my girlfriend's titties.
we were just like, we yes, we were looking for a bike, but at the same time, we were all drinking in the garage, and this was funny as fuck, and we were all three texting the same number, just seeing what we could get to happen. And none of it worked, but we ended up finding one. We found this shitty Sportster from some dude, some like meathead dude that was going to like TCU. And, yeah.
So you got a good deal. Decent deal.
Did you pay for
the money
you
for
pay what it was worth?
steroids? And
No, I mean, it was under $3,000, which
Okay.
was we were trying to stay at, but it wasn't quite the deal that we had hoped to get, but we definitely had fun, like, talking shit online.
Did you ever do the prank on your friends where you would list something like Mitsubishi Eclipse, $2,000?
Yeah.
Find the nicest
Or,
photos
like,
of the
breathe
car
off into a
and then
good
put your
home.
friend's phone number on there. So then they're just getting
That sounds
blown
fun,
up like, yo, I want to come see this car. I want to come see this car. What's going on? This is a car for sale.
I did.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you called it into me, but his brother Jesse got into it with some dude over something like an ex-girlfriend or something dumb. And I got the guy's Facebook, and I just looked at his profile and kind of picked two or three things he had. And yeah, I put a couple Craigslist ads like, oh, same thing for like fucking pennies on the dollar.
The best deal ever.
Because the guy
Craigslist,
texts Jesse, I got his phone number from him, and I was like, text me this. And he hit Jesse up like 2 o'clock the next day. He's like, you motherfucker. He's like, my phone's been ringing off the hook. People, he's like, no, it's you. Jesse's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. He threw it in the group chat like the next day. I was like, yeah, dude, that was me. Sorry. I was like, if he wants to whoop anybody's ass, send him my way, but tell him to fuck off. And
Oh, man.
but yeah, fuck you. Like, I don't know.
It's a good-
the funny
it's-
thing I ever saw about that was
No harm.
somebody said something like, we got a free goat, and all his paraphernalia or something. It was like, this is something I saw on a meme or something, and it just ruined somebody's phone. Like, people just nonstop fucking calling about a free fucking goat and all his fucking gear. And I was like, that's genius. And I've done it a couple times since then. I've had an ex-girlfriend or two with an ex-boyfriend that I was like, yeah, fuck this guy.
Fuck fighting. Let's run his fucking day.
Oh, dude, yeah, just make him get a new cell phone. That's kind of that's kind of
Don't fight. I got goats and gear.
Yeah, dude.
Come get this. Come get this.
No offer too low. Hit me up.
No offer.
No offer.
This goat's got to go.
We'll pay you.
We'll pay you to take this
Yeah,
goat.
just fucking sign out, dude. You leave his phone number, just forget you even did it. That's the best way to do it.
Sign out.
Goats and gear.
Goat gear, goat.
Email doesn't work on the phone. Text me at this number. Fucking sign out.
Mostly up between the hours of 2 and 4 a.m.
I work nights.
There's a lot of ways you can really make somebody's day uncomfortable. Like it doesn't. You don't have to go shoot somebody in the face. You can really do just little mindfuck things all day long that you wouldn't think about. Whether it's
Makes their life a little
email
less.
stuff, or yeah, just little inconveniences. That, like I say, you don't have to slash somebody's tires. Or
They'll do it
anything like
themselves. Oh, my day sucks so bad.
It's like the dirty work when they plant the fish in the guy's house. All of a sudden, they murder everybody. And they're like, "Oh fuck! Did we take this too far?"
Well, to reel it back in. So
We're
with
in
the
shit goat land.
yeah, dude,
Goats and
I
gear.
like it.
yeah, bunch of nerds who just talk about bikes all the time and not talk about shitting yourself and fucking people's lives over on Craigslist. And yeah, we like to take it
Fast
to
and Furious.
Fast and Furious. You know, well, on like the progression of the Wango Tango situation, you know, like you had mentioned that, you know, for next year, like, so was the show a good enough success where there was enough hype that you want to continue to push that?
Yeah, I think so.
I caught the piece of it. Like
Yeah.
we had walked up and saw some of it. Y'all were too busy doing interviews.
Oh, yeah.
They're so like extra up there.
Whoa. Fancy. No, it's I think it was a good response. the turnout was good, especially for just putting it together, right, and throwing it together the first year. I don't know if Sturgis is going to be the only place that we do it at. If anything, it'd be great to do it in different parts of the country so that fellow gold wingers could just come out and just have a good time.
I'd be down for y'all to do it at our camp out.
Yeah,
in Oklahoma. I feel like that'd be it's the last weekend of April.
Okay.
So I don't know. I think it'd be a good vibe because like the dude that rides the performance bagger, dude, that he comes, and I don't know. I feel like it fits in well with our
Mr.
concept
Jason.
of
his gold wing's gonna be sweet.
Yeah, it is. So I don't know. I mean, yeah, if y'all are looking for something to do it, I think it'd be rad to do it. Our camp out, you guys would love it. It's the vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't think we had like a solid plan. We just want to see how everything would evolve, right? And so I do think that the overall reaction to what we did was positive. I don't think I saw anything negative, right?
No.
Yeah, so it was good. And so, but then also being able to maybe include that element of riding together, hanging out, and just having a good time. I think a lot of people are looking for that. So if it can kind of open up that opportunity, and maybe do Wango Tango somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
And then
Well, we did one half of the country. Might as well do the
west side. Yeah. So we'll see what happens, but we're trying to figure stuff out.
That's cool. Joe is still on board with everything?
Absolutely.
100%? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel bad talking about this. He's not here.
I know. Miss you, Joe.
He's up there snowed in.
Hope you're eating some pork chops and
asparagus.
Asparagus.
That was the Wango Tango meal. We go to grocery stores, and that was the thing. Pork chops because it's cheap, and then asparagus. Asparagus has gone up in price.
it's okay. We're gonna make it.
Yeah, but it makes your piss stink.
I don't know if I've never tried asparagus.
Really?
Yeah.
It's.
I grew up on chicken
I
nuggets,
mean,
dude.
honestly, that was a
Macaroni.
great meal.
It's a perfect meal.
It was a perfect meal.
My buddy
Pork
tried
chop.
asparagus for the first time recently and was like, came back from break. A guy I work with, he's like, dude, my piss smells like shit, dude. What the fuck? And I was like, this is asparagus. He's like, oh. I said, he had no idea.
Yeah.
It's good. You throw a little olive oil on it and grill it up right. It's fucking delicious, dude. Yeah.
My vegetable of choice right now is green beans.
Green beans are good.
Like
green
not
beans are good.
not fucking Green Giant canned green beans,
Yeah,
but like some
fresh.
fucking
French ass green beans.
Cut the ends off.
Oh yeah,
You know, butter them up, salt them up.
those are great.
So good, dude.
Damn,
They-
sounds good. But
It could still happen.
they could. Well, what time is it?
It's 10:20.
It's time to go get some green beans.
It's time to get some green
That's what
beans.
I'm saying. David was like,
Let's
"Wanna go to
put an
dinner."
eating competition
It's
on
like-
Patreon after this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's go.
No, we'll go meet up.
Gal said he'll fuck all y'all up.
I'm glad you
Green
set up.
beans.
Well, no, for real, I appreciate y'all guys coming through, and I'm
No,
glad
I
to finally meet
appreciate
you.
having us.
Hey, you as
Love
well.
your work, and
If we do it again, I'll be a little more awake. I'm a little beat right now, but
that's cool.
We'll do it again.
Appreciate it. No, for sure. Like when y'all figure out what you're gonna do next year with the whole thing, come back on. Let's talk about it. If y'all come back to the Handbelt show and you want to run
Yeah.
back through on the way up,
that's
like
what I was thinking. The Handbelt show. Do we know when MotoGP is this year yet?
it. So well,
Usually in April.
They're not doing it this
gone.
year though.
so
In April.
I know they're doing. I know that this is different from y'all's world, but they're doing the King of the Baggers thing is going to be in September
Sick.
at
Coda?
Coda. Yeah. So they're doing that there, but I don't know about MotoGP if they're doing it in April again. But that seemed like a good time in Austin. If you have MotoGP, you have Handbuilt. They need something that kind of represents a little bit more of the Harley crowd because Handbuilt's kind of everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But not that it's a bad show. It's just you
No,
know.
it's a great show. It's, yeah. I mean, it's cool that there's a lot of moto people in
Yeah.
town. But yeah, I mean, I'll definitely be back for that. So we'll have to do.
In my head,
more.
it would have been sick for the Handbuilt show to be one weekend, and then your camping trip in Oklahoma City to be right after it, like a nice little
Yeah.
perfect package. But
Yeah, life doesn't work.
Is it before or when is
it
it?
can.
In April?
It's the very last weekend, so it's right before May. And then Handbuilt is
Oh yeah.
Damn.
It's not quite Oklahoma City. It's a little bit more like southeastern.
it's in the good part of
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma where there's good riding.
like
Like
2
some
hours
some
from
actually some of the
Yeah.
best riding.
I would have never known.
Yeah, they have the Talamina Parkway there. It's a very technical road that people have laughed at and not walked away from. So, and I don't mean to joke about that, but it's true. So,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a very technical road. It's famously said it's the best riding pretty much between the Rockies and the Smokies. As far as like technical roads, level changes, it's just the southeast Oklahoma doesn't have a whole lot of cities, so it's a lot of backcountry type shit. But there's some fucking cool spots down there. They got Broken Bow and all that type of stuff down there. It's really badass.
It runs into northwest Arkansas, and it's sick, man. It's a whole fucking experience. Like
sounds great.
The Tail of the Dragon gets all the hype, and they may have a few more turns. But man, this is just as.
I mean, honestly, we did the Tail of the
Dragon,
and it wasn't that. I mean,
It's
we were
slow
doing that the
speed.
entire
It's
time.
a lot of
up
work.
until that.
The Dragon's a lot of work.
Yeah,
It's a lot of work. It's slow speed. This is different. This is. Can you do your shit at 70 miles an hour, maybe 89?
Cool.
Like you're going, all of a sudden you'll hit technical shit, but it's all fast stuff. It's not that where it's like where you're just crimping along, like almost like you're on a dirt bike. Like it's flying. It's big. It's 100-mile-an-hour sweepers.
You'll have a
That's
100-mile like then almost a corkscrew like effect where you got to do 20, and also it's one of those situations where like. It's a scenic road, so it's not very traveled, especially in that area because that's not a huge traveled area for the scenery. But it's fucking beautiful. You're riding on a mountain ridge, kind of like Blue Ridge Parkway, but without all the tourists, and way tighter and level changes, and it's amazing, man. Like I feel like a lot of people, when they do end up going to it, they're like, "Fuck, dude, I didn't know that existed that close to Dallas or Texas or."
It's hella fucking slept on. For as far as parts of the country that get all the love on mad riding, it is hella slept on.
Yeah. So anyway, thanks guys.
Thank you.
Let's do some stuff.
Appreciate you. Thank you guys.